Hello and welcome to the Mythic Odysseys of Theros. I hate you guys. D&D with an ancient Greek twist. I'm going to drop a Tarrasque on your heads. I'm your Dungeon Master, Red Nova, and I'm joined by my lovely players Heaton, Paige, Violet, and Teddy. Ganassi is in transit and will be with us soon enough. So, when last we left off, our intrepid band of adventurers got into a bit of a steamy situation dealing with this abominable hybrid of water and fire. After dealing with it, they were desperate to root out the source of its creation and turned up some interesting answers, and at the end of the day it seemed it was all a bit of a freak accident and honest mistake despite its tragic nature. After a bit of a hairy situation involving a butting of heads between the party's resident predominant wizard and the local blacksmith, the party ended up getting invited to dinner where Eslin prepared a wonderful meal, and you all toasted to the founding of the name of your new party, Tempest. And that is where we left off. So you guys sit there at the dinner table, having consumed this lovely meal that's been prepared by Eslin. Thoroughly content, having partaken in some wonderful wine as well. Daxos sitting at the table alongside you guys, just chewing his own food. And a lovely evening has been had. Daxos finishes his food and says, I've been meaning to say something. I'm sorry about what happened. He turns to Ganassi. I thought it was important for you to learn a lesson I learned. My mistake was trying to teach it to you the way I was taught it. If you go around poking at people whose power and influence you don't know, you'd better be prepared for the fight. I realize now that I should have probably just told you this. I'm not so good with people and words. And really I should have known better because I acted exactly the way you did when I was taught this lesson. Just remember, I made a mistake and I'm truly sorry for that. But the next time it might be someone who truly means to do you harm.
That took a lot of courage to say, and I'm sure Ganassi appreciates it. I'm just thinking, should we find a place to rest this evening, guys? I'm pretty spent back. Thank you for having us, and
thank you for preparing such a lovely meal.
you're welcome. Let's hope that our next encounter is a little less turbulent. And I guess we all hope to see you again soon.
Yes, of course. You guys have coin in your pocket, and I could always use the custom. He chuckles to himself. Jokes aside, of course. Welcome anytime. So, what's on the agenda now for Tempest?
Before we go, can I stay behind a minute?
Yeah,
I go
sure.
up to Daxos.
You guys are still sitting at the table, bear that in mind.
Yeah, we've not left just yet.
Okay, so you go up to Daxos. So you go up to Daxos in front of everybody.
I think she's gonna sort of pat her hands around Jason and Amalia and Ganassi and be like, let's go, and we'll find somewhere nice to stop tonight. It's gonna be a lovely evening. Look how beautiful the stars are right now. Let's go and we'll have a quick pray, and then we'll
go do our thing. You know, that thing that we had to do.
Yes, that thing. Yes.
Daxos just looks at you all like,
This is literally me in character witnessing this. Oh my god, these fucking kids. Yeah.
So I take it you guys quickly make a hasty exit. Everyone but Calliope. All right.
It's not quick for Jason, but he does go.
So there's a solid 5 minutes of Jason awkwardly like fumbling down the stairs.
He
with his horse.
doesn't get why everyone's suddenly leaving. He's like, "What's the thing that we're meant to be doing?"
Amalia goes back, grabs Jason by the hand and just pulls him downstairs.
Calliope, Daxos offers you a look of sympathy and mild bemusement. Like... But eventually, you guys vacate, and leaving you, Calliope, by yourself. Daxos says, "They're a quirky bunch, but I can tell they care about you."
They do, in their own way. And so do I. That's why I wanted to say, you have to take responsibility for your actions. You have to predict how certain things might develop. But on the other hand, I would like to thank you for teaching your blue friend a lesson. He needs someone to knock him down a peg or 2 or 10. I've been meaning to ask you that creature that I'm not sure what it was, the clay one.
The clay
How
one?
did you know? Out of character. 2 sessions ago, you summoned like a clay thing. When Dax was yeah.
Okay, yeah, okay. Sorry.
Clay sculpture. How did you know I can do? How did you know I could do that? I don't know that.
Honest answer?
I wasn't aware I was capable of that.
Honest answer?
Please.
I wasn't sure. But I had a feeling. That's, my, latent capabilities, if you will. They came out in a similar fashion.
Huh. But you decided to throw me in the deep end.
Well, you'll pardon the irony, but, the teaching method I was predominantly exposed to was the trial by fire approach.
Yeah, I can see that. So I didn't get any teachings, any lessons, because I wasn't wicked enough for the underworld. I was too mortal for the mortal. And
It's their loss.
tapped into my full potential.
No, it's their loss.
Anyway, thank you for showing me a particle of what I can do. And maybe next time, I'll teach you something.
Can't wait. And hey, if you want to scratch that itch further, let me know sometime. We'll go somewhere remote and break shit. Yes, I heard it after it came out of my mouth.
Oh, I don't need to comment on it. Okay. I'll keep
You know
that
what I
in
mean.
mind. I do. Okay, so I'll see you soon then.
See you around, Calliope.
Leave. Hey everyone, so did you walk the cat?
That was a lot faster than I thought it was going to be. I thought you might, stay a
Yes,
bit
then get your mind out of the gutter. I just wanted to talk to him.
Because
That's all I did.
with some guy for some, ideas and some advice, but you won't do it in this place. Okay.
I mean, you did want to be alone together, surely. Well, I hope, you can say whatever you need to say in front of us.
We are family after all.
So we assumed it was something along the lines of,
No.
the
it
private
wasn't like
life.
that. It wasn't like that. I just I wanted to ask him if he knew anything about my heritage, and honest with you, I'm not too sure if I ever want to share that with you, because I do believe it's a burden, and I didn't want to put that up on you guys. Anyway, what's the plan for today?
Sleep. And then tomorrow we have plans.
What, no drinks?
I mean, we've drank quite a bit already. Like,
Oh yeah, no, you guys are definitely not so much slurred speech, but it was a high quality wine you consumed.
We're jolly.
Yes, you're jolly. Very well put.
Okay, let's go to sleep.
I mean, we can drink more if you want to, but I will just be asking me questions all the time. Because I'm in that sort of mood this evening.
Not against it.
Can we have a look around for like an inn or something and then decide?
Absolutely. So, what kind of place are you looking for? You remember that you've got the inn you're currently staying at, the Flowing Goblet. You're looking for something a bit more different?
Yeah.
I guess we'll go back to the Flowing Goblet as long as it's not like miles away.
I mean, if you look at your interactable maps, you've got a pin which is the Crucible and a pin which is the Flowing Goblet, and that would give you a rough idea of how far away it is. It's on the other side of the city, kind of-ish, but by width, not by length, so it's not
So, like, time-wise, how long would that take?
It's about it's approximately 1,000 feet away as the crow flies, so I'll say half an hour if you walk quickly.
Well, yeah, that's not too bad. Save some money. Flowing Goblet then, guys? Okay, so we'll head there then, as long as we don't get, like, mugged on the way.
No, you're good.
Great, lovely.
Roll for mugging! Nice. Okay. So, Calliope, drinks or bed? What time is it now?
It's about 11:30 midnight.
Oh, it's not the worst.
No. Can we just have one? Just a little nightcap.
Can we just flash forward to the hangover? Oh my god, there's an idea for a one-shot that's based on the hangover.
The morning
You
after.
wake up with no memory.
Yes. Oh my god,
I
yes.
mean, that would sort of be like the Halloweeny one shot that Taliesin did. Like, where you wake up with no memory, but like, okay, cool. I'm going off topic.
No.
Jason.
We'll put a pin in that, and we will come back to it because I'm intrigued. I've not seen that one.
Always good. Jason.
Jason's fine.
Jason. You spent some time with us now. Are you having a nice time, or do you want to leave now? I'm not trying to encourage you to leave. I'm just checking the vibe here. That's the word the kids use these days, right?
Considering that before I met you, I was a hired bodyguard for merchants and travelers overseas, usually. My exploits weren't as adventurous as they are now, and there is a small part of me that is enjoying the art of battle once again. So I'm happy to stay with you for the foreseeable future, or until my time with you is done.
No, we're happy to have you around. I mean, Calliope certainly enjoyed your company, haven't you, Calliope?
Sure.
I'm just going to go talk to Amalia now, and then I'm going to go to bed.
So you guys are walking and talking, I presume.
Yeah.
All right, you make your way eventually back to the Flowing Goblet. That is, of course, still open. Easy enough. You're able to be sat at a booth. What is everybody having? What can I get anybody?
A pitcher of wine?
A decaf coffee?
I got just the thing. Don't have coffee, unfortunately. But I've got just the thing. And wine. Would that be a fine wine or regular?
Whatever's cheapest.
Very well. It'll be 3 silver pieces for a jug of wine. We'll say 3 silver pieces as well for your surprise drink. He turns to you, Eslin.
That's very expensive for a surprise drink, but okay. I'm just letting you know that I don't do drugs. It's not really what I'm into, but, you know, I'm just putting that out there.
This is a family-owned establishment. I resent that very much.
I mean it, not to offend. I was just putting that out there into the world.
Would anyone like to eat anything? The wife just prepared a fresh platter of dolmades.
Oh, we've just eaten, so, you know, I'm okay for now. Thank you.
I'd have a plate of that, please.
Of course. Cool.
She's a big girl.
I like food.
All right. So before a pitcher of wine is brought to you guys, as well as a platter of these little leaf-shaped sausage cylinder things that Amalia just begins eating. And Eslin, you have a mug that has a rust-colored sort of orangey liquid in it.
Okay. I guess I'll sip it very gently. Is it alcoholic?
It is.
This is not a decaf coffee.
Amalia puts both paws on the table and looks over at the thing. That looks a bit like blood, no offense. And then she sits back down and carries on eating.
And that's when the cayenne pepper hits you.
This is not what I ordered.
So, Eslin. How tolerant is Eslin of spices?
I mean, like, just normal. So if it's, like, super spicy, then she's probably going to have a little bit of a hard time. If not now, then tomorrow morning.
It is quite spicy, yes.
Oh.
It's whiskey with a teaspoon of cayenne pepper in it.
Okay. Whiskey.
Hey.
Okay. No wonder it's so fucking expensive. Eslin does like whiskey, so she will down it, and then she's going to bed.
Very well. Does anyone wish to speak about anything else before we conclude for the evening?
She's going to need help upstairs, so I'm going to need to carry her to bed.
Sure.
Bride style.
Yep. Eslin, being carried like this is a trip down memory lane.
Oh boy.
She's going to pat her fluffy head.
Adorable.
Alright, you set Eslin gently into her bed. I assume get her into her PJs and tuck her in. And then you go to your own bed. Calliope, Jason, anything else?
Before I go to bed, I just want to go outside, just sit by myself and just sing a little song. Get my flute out and just hum a little melody. And I sing a little song, just for me and my brother.
Okay. Roll a performance check.
And then I go to, oh, okay. Oh no. I wanted to go to bed. No, I don't like you.
This is where someone like just screams out the window. Shut up!
Shut up!
It's 1 o'clock in the morning.
For fuck's sake. Performance from Oh, +6. 16 + 6, 22.
Yay.
And you deftly play a sweet little tune. A cat comes out and just sort of sits and listens to you play for a moment.
Oh.
And then just is on his way. Okay.
I pet the cat and
Okay, I'll take.
I just look at the sky.
Ooh, ASMR.
I take one look at the sky and go to bed.
You deftly go to bed. Jason, you going to bed?
Yeah, I think once everyone splits off, Dyson takes a moment just to kind of sit with like his drinks and his thoughts. Doesn't really say anything to anyone, and then yeah, he'll just he's contemplating things, and then he'll go to bed too.
All right. You all.
Is there a stables for me?
There's.
Yeah, that's true. How do centaurs sleep? Do they have beds? Or do they have
Yeah, that's what I was
tables?
thinking.
It's more of a mat situation, like sort of those Japanese traditional beds that are.
Yeah, I figured as much. Yeah,
A futon.
yeah.
Yeah, so it's like a futon type situation, but it's made out of soft leathers that are stuffed full of down, and there's straw in it as well. It's rustic. It stretches the limits of the word rustic, but it's quite comfortable.
Nice.
All right, you all deftly lay your heads down, and sleep takes you. Jason, as your eyes roll back and you drift off to the land of Nod, you feel weightless for a moment as sleep takes you. Before all of a sudden, your feet hit hard ground. And you look around and you're on the Laguna Plains again.
Do I notice anything?
Make a perception check.
Oh, that's cocked. Perception. Do I have anything? That would be a 5.
No, you do not notice anything. It's just empty, open countryside.
I'll start slowly walking through the countryside.
Begin walking.
Can I tell that I'm dreaming or having a kind of out of body moment?
Make an insight check.
That's another 5.
Nope. This is as real as ever. In fact, you are sort of overcome with, hey, Ganassi, that's gonna throw my entire layout out of alignment. Oh wait, no, that's not so bad. Okay, we'll worry about that in a sec.
Hey, buddy.
Hello, I'm still on the train at the moment, but I'll message or I'll speak as and when.
No worries. In fact, as the more you walk, the more you haven't been in open countryside in a little bit, so you're overtaken with a rush of endorphins as you realize you can run.
I'm gonna kind of like in Avatar when Sully gets his legs, just I'm belting it full gallop.
And you do. You're just charging through the landscape. You feel the wind blasting your hair back. You haven't felt this free in a long time. Free to just run forever. And as you run,
Nice, I'm fully enjoying it.
yeah. Shink! Seemingly out of nowhere, down from the sky, a javelin descends and impales your foot, nailing it to the ground. The pain is blinding as you come to a screeching halt, dragging the javelin along the ground. Shink! Another javelin descends from the sky. Shing! Shing! A total of 4 javelins descend out of the sky and impale your feet to the ground. Blood is freely pouring from your legs, and you notice that each javelin has an invisible, like a translucent chain that's connecting the javelin to somewhere in the clouds. And you watch as the chains begin pulling. And all of a sudden your legs, you feel your legs snap under the force of almost being pulled apart in 4 different directions from the sky, as you cannot escape. And then you watch, descending from the clouds, a helmed face with white, burning, furious eyes peeking out from inside the hoplite helm. And then a breastplate. Full plate, as 1 giant hoof, 2 giant hooves, 3, 4. The Colossal Centaur, clad head to toe in armor, with a horned helm and a crest on the back, looks down at you, and Eros, the god of war, stares down at you. He speaks, and you don't hear it with your ears, you hear it with your mind, this deep, rumbling growl. And you have heard this whisper, and it sounds like a rumbling storm at the best of times, but even with that in mind, it sounds furious. Combat is combat. You have shown dishonor. And with a mighty tug, the 4 javelins pull one last time, and the javelins yank free, tearing chunks of flesh with them. Blood spurts from your legs, and all of a sudden you fall back to the earth. But there is no earth as you fall, and you fall, and you fall while you bleed, and you fear you might fall forever until you awaken. And something doesn't feel right. You've grown accustomed to a presence at your back and within your soul. A strong affirmation. A guiding hand, if you will. And you feel that guiding hand's grip has slightly slackened.
I understand.
And yeah, this is just out of character and RPing out what you and I discussed outside of the game.
Yeah, all good. Well, not all good, but out of character, all good. Okay, I'm going to keep that to myself.
You okay there, Calliope?
What a fucking ride!
Literally.
All right. Everybody else comes to and meets downstairs for breakfast.
Morning. Is there coffee? Or something?
Coffee around here tastes weird.
We have food.
Yeah, was it spicy?
It was very
What did you have yesterday?
like some form of torture, I think. Like I don't know what I did. All I wanted was a decaf coffee. Maybe they just don't think decaf is a valid form of coffee, which is fair, but it was 12 o'clock at night, and maybe I should have just asked for a hot milk. I think, like, I'm too old for this shit. Like, I just wanted...
The centaur, owner of the establishment, that female centaur who you'd met before, walks up to you guys and says, how about some specials to wash off that hangover?
Oh dear.
Milk, hot milk, please. Thank you.
What are the specials?
Milk we can do. Scrambled eggs and fish.
No.
I'm okay.
I'll have coffee too, please.
I'll take the special.
All right.
You're gonna have the poopsies.
Should we just, like, can you do toast? Like, something really...
If anyone's watching, please clip that. Please clip that.
I'm sorry.
You know what? Don't even need to clip it. It's going on YouTube. It's there forever. This is the best. You're gonna have the poopsies. There's a battle cry if I've ever heard one.
Yikes.
Oh god.
But, okay. A big old mug of coffee, and Eslin as well, a cup of milk is presented for each of you guys. That would run you guys about 2 silver pieces for everything. And an additional 2 silver pieces, for the scrambled eggs and fried fish.
So 4 total, yeah?
Yeah.
I'll get it.
Jason, it is in fact very nice creamy scrambled eggs and some very delicately lightly fried fish fillets. It doesn't feel heavy at all on the stomach. Very nicely prepared. Smells good.
Lovely.
The Ganassi will offer to cover the cost of breakfast, and as he says, I do remind you, I still have the gold from our last escapade. Since this is a group breakfast, feels only fitting that it comes out of the group funds.
That is reasonable. Thank you, Ganassi.
How much was that, Remy?
4 silver pieces.
Thank you.
We're a cheap date. So,
actually, can I double up? Can I double up my serving for the energy of the day? Can I double up my serving?
You can mark off another 2 silver pieces for a platter of scrambled eggs and fried fish.
I'm a horse after all.
Yeah. The patron says to you, "We have a fruit platter for 4 silver pieces, if that sounds appetizing for anybody."
I
I'll
shall
have that.
avail myself of
Yeah, that sounds
platter
good.
as well.
Very well. So that's how many fruit platters?
4.
Okay, so that's 16 silver pieces.
So 2 gold total.
Yes, 2 gold total for the for everything, not including Jason's top up, which is an additional 2 silver pieces.
So, if I remember
Cool.
correctly,
Yeah, I cover that.
we were going to go to the temple, and we were going to fight the returned for money, as to not upset Thassa, for money, and not for the temple.
Sounds reasonable. I heard a lot of talk about money, so let's go.
I mean, or we could find the cat. Like, I think that could be a worthy cause as well.
Can we keep
If
the
it's
cat?
anything like we have dealt with so far, it will of course seem simple and then no doubt be much more severe. I would
Yeah,
recommend
I mean,
if we do hunt
technically,
for
a
this
fleece
cat.
mane lion is a cat. Like,
Indeed,
it didn't
we should
specify the size
we
of the
should
cat.
ask the size of said cat is rather important.
So,
Fair point.
what job do we all prefer?
Well, keeping you safe would be a good shout, so I'm gonna go with you, wherever you're going.
Is she talking to me or you, Calliope?
I'm talking to both of you.
I think both of us.
I mean, I'm pretty tanky now. I've got my little lion, like, my lion cloak. Just gonna...
Them's fighting
she
words.
Good for you.
When we're drinking my dice.
Can we clip that?
Go for it. Go for it.
Wine have you drank today?
Just a glass.
A glass or a pitcher?
Insight check.
Make an insight check.
That's a 19.
You suffer 1 point of exhaustion. Moving on. Jokes aside, honestly, I've only had the one glass. I'm just that much. I'm just that charismatic naturally.
Nice.
We all suffer 1 point of psychic damage.
Very well. Tempest, the day is yours. How do you wish to seize it?
Did Ganassi, I think he took notes on the jobs available, if I'm not mistaken.
I did, and I reach down into my bag and pull out my what initially looks basic. It always get the impression that my spell book also doubles up on the reverse as my notebook, and I flipped through a few pages, including what might catch a few people's eyes, a few sketches of odd things, and then I settle on the most
And
recent
incredibly,
page,
everything's in crayon.
which,
What sort of sketches?
well, there's one sketch that briefly appears on the. It looks like this one looks like it's been painted. Looks like the hand is definitely not of anyone. Well, it certainly doesn't look like it's one that Ganassi has made. And if I get the description, have it here. Give me a moment. The description. Let's see. You see the group sort of standing beside a mountainside. Ganassi's hand reaching down as if to remove a dagger from a bloody figure that's impaled against the wall. You recognize the figure to be the Balgura. And it looks to have been, it almost looks commissioned. But almost very quickly afterwards, the page is flipped over again, and the Ganassi settles on the following notes. So, the cat missing has been missing was 2 days, will now be 3. The cat was playing, there was a loud noise, and the cat went missing. This was 3 days ago. I have a note or details to get to the girl, but that is all I have for that one. There is no mention of a reward, so I imagine there must be something. The bounty from the Erebus temple, which we are aware of, a 50 gold piece bounty for any confirmed return to kill. There is a monster slaying lodge, the Lodge of Nelia. And I show what looks like an icon or like a logo of a bow shooting 3 arrows, which has been poorly sketched by Ganassi. underneath the name Daughters of Nelia. I do not know if they are simply other like a guild of monster hunters or similar, but it sounded like that. Strymon. Oh, and I take my ink pen and quin and I scratch out Strymon's Great Adventure. So we have the cat, the gold, and the monsters lodge. Oh, and that thing that the Isladon bounty as well.
Wasn't Nelia the one that Phoebe followed? If I'm not mistaken.
Just FYI, I pronounced that wrong last time. It's Eidolon, not Isladon. Minor detail. Continue.
Either way, Ganassi spelled it wrong, so it's fine. Ilodon.
Okay. Are the returns dangerous, Ganassi? Do we know?
Do I know anything about the term of returned?
Make a history check.
Give me 2.5 years to get to my character sheet, and I shall. I actually can do it. There we are.
Oh, do you need me to roll your dice for you?
That's all right. History check, yeah?
Yes.
That is 13 plus 6 for a 19.
Nice.
So you know that Therans in general have a concept of death that's a bit more flexible in that, you know, they believe it is possible to crawl out of the underworld. Sort of. You've heard tales of like the idea that there is a path out of the underworld that people can undertake in order to just walk out and escape death. From the stories you've heard, you know that part of the process, so that to avoid being seen and therefore yanked back by the god of death, Erebus, you know that they have to forego their identities. As in, rip away every part of them that was somewhat unique in any way. And so they wear these golden masks as a result, these things that they are bestowed unto them in death. And once they crawl out of the underworld, you know that most returns have at most fragments of memories of what their previous life was, but other than that are completely blank. And so they can often be melancholy or just sort of depressing, for lack of a better word, just lead sort of sad, meandering lives in the second life. You've heard of 2 cities in which they occupy, Asphodel and Odunos. But being not of this land, that's as much as you know.
So what are the name of those places again? Asphodel
and Odunos.
How do you spell that?
O-D-U... Good question.
I spell them interestingly. I spell it in my memory O-D-U-N-O-S. Whether or not that's right, who knows?
O-D-U-N-O-S is correct. Asphodel is spelt like the word asphodel.
Fantastic. So, to respond, Ganassi kind of... it's not a snort of derision, but it's... there's definitely a lack of candor, or rather lack of mollycoddling with his response when he base cowards that refused to face death when it came upon them. They sacrificed all they were so they could come back, so that they were but a husk of what they once were. They are sad names where they congregate in their sad little unlives.
Are they dangerous? Or are
Other than
they...
that, they could be, though, as they no longer remember much of.
It does sound like the worthier cause.
Sad little reminders of sad little lives.
Maybe we could
The
go ask some more
names of the
questions.
place. Perhaps. The two places I recall, Asphodel and Oldunos. I do not know where these places are. Ultimately, I have little time for those that do not accept fate as it is dealt. If we wish to kill them, I will have no problem with that.
Okay. Let's head over to the Temple District, I guess, and see what we can see.
Easy enough. About 30 minutes later, you make your way and you see the pavilion that is surrounded by the various temples. You spot the one for Thassa, the one for Eros. You don't see one for Nikta, interestingly enough. And yeah, surely enough, the Temple of Erebus is there as well.
I prefer not to take the lead on this one, if whenever you wouldn't mind.
I feel I may not be a good person to begin conversation, considering my opinion of faiths in this land.
Are there questions you guys want to ask?
Well, what the mission actually entails, whether these things are inherently evil, or whether
Where
they
they
are.
are and who will pay us will also be useful.
I mean, yeah, I guess.
Just want to know what the mission entails and if the things are evil.
Yes, do they pose a definite harm, or is it just a case of they want them gone?
Just as much as information we can get, anything that can help us. Whether if it's weaknesses, a number of them, anything.
And obviously Ganassi's question about who's paying the reward, I guess, and what was your other question, Ganassi? Cool, so I guess we're going.
If that's not a resounding answer, I don't know what is. Very well. You guys make your way towards it, and outside you see the statue of Erebus, a figure with these long, slender horns that curve upwards, almost like an omega Greek shape. Sorry, just find game rules, various sources. Theros. Someone should have had this prepared ahead of time.
Good job.
Long, impossibly long horns that form a U, a golden V on his forehead, an impossibly long neck. You see, he's incredibly emaciated. He's all skin and bones, and in fact, you see ribs sticking out of his impossibly skeleton-like torso. No stomach, nothing, just all hollowed out. These golden faces on his shoulder pads, with connected to long flowing robes sleeves that are of a rich satiny purple, otherwise completely bare chest, and he's carrying a long whip, which on the statue is made out of bronze.
Would we know what sort of god this is? Like,
Yes, he is the Lord of the Underworld. He is Keeper of the Dead. All those who pass on to the next life are judged by him and, or sort of judged by the Judge of the Dead and then sent to either eternal paradise or to eternal limbo, or even eternal damnation. And he is the keeper of them all.
Oh, shit.
okay, we'll head inside then, I guess, and look for somebody of import.
Alright, you step inside and you see the walls themselves are made out of these weird, misshapen white stones. And you look closer, you see, like, they are endless skulls. Top to bottom. Like French, like Catacombs of Paris style, just walls of skulls.
There is actually a church, apparently, that is made out of bones
And yeah,
in IRL.
and this is very much like that. You see on the benches and tables various different offerings in the form of sort of burial rites and incenses and the sort of thing you would find at a funeral, laurels and wreaths and herbs and the kinds of things to sort of send someone to the world beyond. But otherwise the interior is very sort of, for the lack of a better term, quiet as a crypt. There are a few people muttering in prayer, but otherwise there are priests that are lighting the incense and going about their business, keeping the temple running.
The temple, is there like a way that you could like sort of light a candle in terms of respect for the god?
You see a big thing of wooden tokens with that are sort of shaped like fake coins, almost, and there is a priest standing next to them. You would know, Amalia, that, or at least you've heard telltale sort of, that in these kinds of temples, particularly to Erebus, it's customary to purchase a coin, which is also a donation to the temple, and lay the coin at Erebus's feet.
Complete.
Alright. Mark off 1 copper. The priest wordlessly takes the coin from you, gives you a nod of thanks, and hands you the wooden coin. Hands you 2, actually, sorry. He hands you 2 wooden coins for the 1 copper.
My way over to the statue of Erebus, bend slightly, and then just place the coin by his feet.
Place 2 coins.
2 coins, sorry,
Yeah,
by his feet.
You lay the 2 coins by his feet, and you see there's a pile of other coins. Various people haven't been done their rites. You offer a silent prayer, and you feel it's not warm because Erebus cannot be warmed by his very nature, but a reassuring presence upon your shoulders. A gaze, if you will.
Like
I
a
must
sense.
say, it is quite curious to see one of your kind as of faith, much less of the Lord of the Underworld. You turn and you see a figure that sort of he's got a Mr. Burns-ish quality about him, sort of like a stooped, much older man, very gaunt. His own face almost seems to resemble a skull. Beak-like nose, slicked back, balding hair that goes just to down here.
Is it like a priest from the temple, or is it
He is
just like
dressed in priest robes.
Okay.
And you watch out, all of them seem to have this, most of them have like these copper shoulder pads that are quite plain in nature with a basic face etched onto them. Sorry. With long flowing purple robes that completely bare chest and a long chiton that goes down to their legs. Down to their ankles.
Okay. As I look up after I finish my prayer, I stand up and I look at him and I say, I know my kind don't tend to support a god, but however I do, and you should mind your own business.
But this is the house of the Lord of Death. Your prayers are my business, my child. Welcome. The house of death is. The final embrace welcomes all. And the sight of another acolyte is always a pleasure.
We all hear this.
Do you all go in with her?
Wander off.
He's not making an effort to be quiet, so I guess so, yeah. It's not a terribly large
Good enough.
temple.
The Ganassi would be waiting outside unless called in.
Good. We don't want another god battle.
I have no idea what you're referring to.
You're outside, you can't hear me. Sorry.
What brings you here today, my child? The passing of a loved one? We are here for all that you require in such a difficult time.
Love one, no. But there are some questions I need answering to.
I am always happy to guide an acolyte of the shrouded
Question,
one.
who's with me in the temple?
Who is with her in the temple?
So I'm just at the front door. I'm not in the temple with you. I can see you, but I'm not like beside you or anything.
Calliope?
I'm in the temple, but just in like the entrance. I'm trying to keep a low profile, just keeping an eye on her. You know, I'm being like respectful. I'm not doing some funny shit.
How may I be of assistance, my child?
Looks over at Tyson and Calliope and sort of gestures for one of them to come forward because she's forgotten the questions they wanted to ask.
Calliope, you'd be the only one who sees this. Jason's outside.
Okay.
Sorry.
You can literally see the exchange. It's like Amalia. Yeah. I reluctantly go over and
Welcome, child.
Hi.
How might I be of assistance?
Right, we here because we saw information that you were looking for someone to take care of a problem for you.
Ah, you have answered the call. This is good.
We're seeking more information. We'll see if we can take it on.
Of course, of course. What do you require?
Anything in terms of information? You know how many there are? How we can defeat them?
Countless thousands of... Many have escaped the gaze of the Lord of Death over the millennia.
Ha! How many are you having a problem with?
None in particular. The walls are strong of the city, and the guard mighty. They repel. But those who escape judgment and the finality of this world are an abomination. Outcasts. Hellspawn of Phenax. And they must be returned to their proper place.
Okay. Where
Do
can
you
we
have
find
any
these-
information?
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah.
Asphodel and Odunos, of course. They are the main police where these returned have built in order to shelter themselves, band together lest they be rightfully eradicated like the vermin they are.
Okay, what about the payment?
Of course, as stated, 50 golden drachmi for each mask you bring to us, that we may be assured of their demise.
Okay. Out of character. Is that everything? Like, can we go? Do we have any more questions? Oh, I can carry that. Okay. We'll discuss it with our party, and maybe we can take on this adventure.
We eagerly await your answer. Any who can restore the natural order are most welcome in this place indeed.
Thank you. We'll keep that in mind. Just drag him on here. Just like, come on, by the paw.
He sort of bows his head and says, "May your slumber be peaceful, young ones."
But thank you. Bye.
Ah, that was so much fun.
DM question.
Yes?
Thanks for hanging.
Is there any way to pay respect to the dead without like
Having to interact
Like-
with that person.
well just having to like be like what's what I'm looking for. It's not like committing yourself to the god, but it's like is there any way to pay respect or like ask something of the god without fully giving your all to it? Just like a general query, I guess.
Absolutely. In any polytheistic pantheon, especially one modeled on ancient Greece, there is the understanding, especially in Theros as well, that the gods govern one facet of existence and one only, but that is not the entire experience. In Jason's
That's
case,
fine. I just wanted to get
he
the-
does not live his entire life on this battlefield. He has loved ones like anyone else. Any soldier, may have a family, and so he may pray to Karametra that his wife have a safe and comfortable childbirth, or he may pray to Heliod for the sun to shine on his crops so they may have good harvest, or he may pray to Erebus at the time of his anyone of his close ones passing, so that their judgment in the underworld be just and true. So one can seek the prayer, or sort of seek the eye of other deities without necessarily incurring the wrath of their own chosen deity of acolyteness. Though
Beautiful.
one obviously should be aware that not all gods have the same relationship.
Yeah, that's fine. With all of that in consideration, especially after the night that Jason had, without stepping inside of the temple and kind of seeing the statue and stuff, Jason's kind of going to say very kind of gently under his breath, if my time is cut short, then I pray to you, please guide me to them.
Okay.
And that would be his interaction. And obviously he'll do a bow and whatever he can in his own way of respect.
Very well. And you do. After the
So, how was it, guys? Did you learn anything good?
Oh, we got information. Not much of it.
They were very vague on the information they gave us.
Yeah,
So,
I kept getting distracted
is the
by
return in
creepiness.
town, or?
They have gathered around. How do you pronounce that?
pronounce what? Sorry.
The place where they have busted.
Oh, Asphodel or Ordunos are the two cities that were built by the Returned in order to live.
So are these whole cities built by these tranquil people? Like,
Well, when they come back, they're fully human, aren't they, still?
Anyone who wants to can make an Arcana check regarding that question, and
my Arcana shit.
someone else can make a history check about the two police.
I rolled an 18.
On the Arcana.
12
Yeah.
for history.
Okay.
I'll do another history if I can.
I was going to say, can I make a second history check?
Yeah, go for it.
Oh, not bad.
Also,
17
do we know
plus
how far
2.
away these places are? Are they like nearby, or?
Sorry.
I forgot to ask.
They are visible on your world map, actually.
Does anyone have them?
Which you would
So
know.
it should be in your downloads and stuff.
I got
You
17
can't
for
see
history,
it
by the
on
way.
one of mine.
Oh, right. Okay, cool. So, you know that the influence of the underworld seeping out onto the mortal plane has sort of made these places a bit more barren and lifeless, more of like ashlands than anything else. Asphodel in particular, which is more to the south of here, is more isolationist. The return of Asphodel seek to be left alone with their Enui. They rarely leave the city, is as much as you know in that respect, which is a contrast to the return from Ordunos, which have to be frequently repelled by both Akros and Meletis when they travel south. With that history check, I'll say you've heard reports or tales of the return of Ordunos seem to resent the living and delight in wreaking havoc in order to upset what is considered the status quo. They resent the fact that the living are alive and they are not. They have to live as these shallow husks, and so they are nothing but dead rage.
We're not going to Adonis, we're going to the other one.
I mean, we don't have to necessarily go to either. I thought it'd probably be like a local job. I don't know about you guys, but I thought it would be a, run and gun, get the money, come back home, buy shit. If
Well,
we're
this
traveling
isn't-
far
Hey.
north or south, I thought maybe... Why don't we have a look at the cat job or something a bit closer to home and then decide where we want to travel? We know where we've got to go now, and, well, considering these might be whole cities populated by these people, I don't think it's going to be very easy to just walk in, murder one of them, and walk straight out again.
They are hardly
Yeah.
going to die while we do other things. Their very nature is they are persistent in their current state. I do not feel there is an urgent constraint of time.
I feel like we should, prepare for that. As kids say, level up. And then we might revisit that idea. But it's good that we had some information. We're setting things in motion so we can plan ahead.
Well, you
About the
both come
cat.
out a tiny bit sweaty and looking a bit uncomfortable, so this might not be a good job anyway.
This is a team
Moment.
effort.
I see.
Thank you.
Should we get the cat?
Sure. We get to keep the cat.
I feel
No.
that may be against the spirit of the hire.
I don't think we can go stealing around a young girl's pet, Calliope. If you want a rabbit, we can find you a rabbit. That's not a problem. Sorry, not a rabbit, a cat. I was looking at I was looking at the bunny.
Okay, let's go.
I have a feeling that whatever it was that took the cat is definitely going to be large. So I would like to make a visit to Daxos's before we go, because I have questions for him.
Oh, of course. Do we
Sweet.
know where the little girl was based?
You have an address, yes.
Okay, is it past Daxos's, perchance?
I've not checked where the address leads. I know this is the address. I've not bothered asking where it is in town.
Apologies about the layout. I need to work on some stuff.
On
It's all good.
that extended map, by the way, I was trying to see if I could click other things on that interactive map, and I couldn't. It was just it was an uninteractable map. I could search for the name of things, but then I wouldn't be able to go beyond that stage.
See the map.
Yeah,
Yeah.
same.
Yeah, same.
So
I think it might be a restriction limit.
So it's not like we want to click on the actual places and see the information, but we can't actually see the places on the map.
Yeah.
That's weird.
If you want, I'll quickly share my screen to give you an idea,
Yes,
so you can
please.
take a brief moment. Okay. So
Yeah.
this is what I would see for the map.
Yep, same as mine.
And then there is no, if I click on the map, there is no interactable option. I only have base as a standing point. I can search for files. What's the name of the forge?
The Crucible.
And that can appear, but if I was to select it, it would say, I don't know, this would appear, and I wouldn't be able to proceed any further. So I could know the name of some things, but it doesn't tell me where these marks are. So I could try and go to this bathhouse, but again I get to the same restriction. But trying to interact with the map itself, unfortunately, no bueno.
It's a nice map, though. We're not.
It's a very nice map.
I'm just trying to. I'm still getting used to World Anvil and how it.
World Anvil.
It's not user friendly initially.
Yeah.
Once it's done, it's beautiful, but it's not. Let's say it's not DM
Takes a while
friendly.
getting there.
Yeah, that's it.
So
Yeah.
edit marker
Yeah.
opens a pop-up. Opens a pop-up. Flowing goblet. Doesn't say whether it's. Oh, show advanced options. Oh, crap. Okay, give me 1 second. I gotta make all the markers public.
I thought that might be what it is.
Yeah.
Oh, right. So if I.
There we go. Yeah, now it's starting to show up. So the flowing goblet just showed up on mine.
Okay, this is gonna take a second. Apologies for all the viewers. Take a moment to let's talk about our sponsors.
Oh, hello there.
Somebody who wants
It's
to
like a
chime
little
in.
pin.
Thank you.
Yes.
Okay, that's 2.
And it doesn't give us any more information. It just tells us the location, which is exactly what you'd be.
The
after.
information is more for me.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, that's now starting to do it.
Okay.
Beautiful.
I didn't realize the default was private.
I was just being really nice because I thought everyone else could see it apart from me, and I just thought it was like a bad internet connection. I was like, oh, I'll just yeah.
No, I remember bringing it up once, and then we thought, oh no, that's certain things you can't see, and I was like, oh okay, and then I gave a bit more look. I was like, no, I'm really sure I can't see anything right now.
Yeah.
All right.
I think that's just like a proper, too polite response.
Yeah. I love the fact that we were all just like, yeah, mate, it's great, love it.
Don't get me wrong, we do like it. It's
Don't get me wrong, we love it. It's very pretty. It's just that we didn't have access to any of it.
All the pins should be there now.
Sweet, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, gonna return to the stream as it. Oh, gonna stop watching. Okay, back to. Oh god, the layout I think is completely.
Yeah, sorry. I'll drop out I'll end the stream
That's
now.
What that was. So good. But yeah.
But yeah, so for me, before we head out, I'd love to have a run by Daxos real quick.
Cool. So
if
if
it's
you
okay
can
with the
see
party.
that big sort of lopsided hexagon,
Yeah.
that's the pavilion where you guys are at. That where all the temples are located. So Daxos isn't terribly far.
Okay.
20 minutes.
Sweet.
Do we know roughly where that address would be if we ask around?
Yes.
Like which part of town it would be in?
It would be in the lower commons. So if you look at the Crucible and sort of go east in that area that sort of goes into that inlet.
Oh, fabulous. Yeah, that's great.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, the lower
Perfect.
commons nearer to the dock area.
So we kind of would need to walk through town anyway.
Yeah.
From where we are. Yeah, like regardless of whether we went to Daxos or not, we'd still have to make a kind of similar route.
Yeah.
Yep.
Sweet.
Yeah, so you...
Well then yes, I would very much satisfy boy.
Alright, you make your way back through town. And, What's
Did
that
we just
like?
get robbed?
No, you did not get robbed. Roll a constitution. No, kidding.
Not again.
No.
Find an illusion.
Smoke bomb! That will never not be funny.
Nope.
Okay.
Gonna give the poopsies.
I love... Make that into a t-shirt. Oh my god, please cosplay as Calliope and then say that line and then like do a TikTok or something.
Okay, fine.
Alright, so you guys make your way easy enough through the city streets, and you guys haven't had a moment, because you've been so sort of busy with your own things. You take a moment to appreciate the city, and it is a bustling, sunlit metropolis. People saying hello in the streets, market vendors, pop-up shops of like different, sweetmeats or pastries or things like that. You notice, you take a moment as like, you take a moment to appreciate the city, and all its sort of pleasant busyness. The only one of you, I think, that's... Actually, so, Eslin and Ganassi, it reminds you guys both of home. Both of you are more familiar with a bustling metropolis. You two, Calliope, been in a city, but not quite one so vast and, of all spectrums. You see centaurs in the street, the occasional minotaur and Goliath, satyrs bounding through the streets, playing pipes, entertaining the masses. It's...
Goliaths?
Goliaths, yeah.
But I couldn't.
What?
Yeah, Goliath wasn't a race that you could pick, was it?
Yes, it was.
No, it wasn't.
The
because
bounce-
I wanted to
Your
play
bouncer...
Navali.
Your bouncer was a Goliath. I said this out loud in your session 0.
Oh,
Did no one read that sheet I sent everybody that spelled out what was permitted and what was not?
You sent a sheet?
You sent a sheet out?
Yeah, I read it.
Oh no, Tiamat's coming.
Now I'm
no,
upset.
Goliath was definitely one that was available. Although
Did you mean Lovely? Is this what you're gonna say now?
I was so on brand.
Okay, see, no, you just said Leonin to me, and I was like, okay, I want to be that.
I'm well aware of your selective hearing.
I just have a thing of all of us going through the street now, and Goliath goes past me, all like, yo, that's so cool.
They're very few and far between, but you see the odd one.
Is anyone else getting an echo off somebody?
I am, yes.
I was.
That might be me, sorry.
No worries.
Yeah, it's good now.
Yeah, easy
Sorry,
enough.
what did I miss? My internet is a potato.
Something about Goliaths. Anyway, soon enough, you see the familiar smoking stack of the crucible, and the familiar sounds of metal works on the inside. You step in, and Dax also this time, funnily enough, at the booth, and he's eating a plate of what looks like some sort of grain-based boiled mash with beans and bacon.
Nice roleplay.
Oh, back so soon.
Cool. So I'm gonna go straight up to the counter, and I'm just gonna be like,
What can I do?
my boy, I have nothing but newfound respect for what you do and the powers you possess, and I was wondering if you would be so kind as to tinker
come-on?
with a weapon of mine.
It still sounds like a come on.
I'd be very... Don't forget, we've got Drax Holt's thing going here, so this is like him trying to be nice.
How may I be of assistance? You said you were looking for a weapon?
No. I was wondering if you were able to, for lack of a better term, upgrade a weapon that I currently have on me. Because I am in the need for bloodshed. And I feel like you can help me with this.
Oh, if you're gonna sweet talk me like that. Right. What's your budget and what are you looking for?
Well, and Jason puts a whip on the table, and he just asks kind of what enchantments or upgrades or improvements can you make to this, and how much would it cost me?
I mean, the easiest thing would be to... Sorry, I need to actually get it. Find Dax's voice. The easiest thing would be to...
I know, I'm trying to do it too.
The easiest thing would be to naturally enhance its properties here and there, make it hit harder and crack faster. Out of character, the equivalent of a +1 enchantment.
Yeah.
I could have it ready to you in 4 days, and that would run you 300 gold pieces.
300 gold. And if someone was to ask for a you nearly killed me discount.
300 gold is the you nearly killed me discount.
Fair.
Down from 5, just so you got a frame of reference.
That's fine, it was worth a shot. Okay, boy, I'll keep that in mind. And I will return to you once I have those funds.
Didn't you guys just make bank off of that fat fuck?
We did, but we didn't. I don't think we split it, or at least if we did, I didn't add it to mine.
Did you go into the crucible yourself?
My memory is shit. I don't actually
I
remember.
assume we just all went with him and just sort of stood
Yeah,
around.
I'll probably have waited by the door, but as it comes to conversation, the Ganassi will enter again and just raise his voice and go, "We do have coin for that, if it is a worthy task."
I mean, is there anything else that can maybe interest you in?
Ganassi holds out a mop. I have realised that I struggle to keep a hold of a quarterstaff for an extended period of time. It would be good if such a staff could be collapsed. Say this height, collapsed in such a way it could be sheathed on a backpack. This is not the quarterstaff. I need to return this at some point.
Okay, I was curious about that.
Oh, I see. I technically have quarterstaff in my inventory, but I've just never had it on me, so I'm just going to remove it because I don't know where I would have had it up to this point.
Sorry, 1 second. I can do something like that, so you just want to make it smaller? Or do you want it to get bigger as well?
Hey.
I just need it to be... I shall choose my words carefully. I wish to be able to hold it comfortably in my hand. He says, stone-faced, without realising what he's done. But should I wish to bring it to its full length, I can do.
And you want it to reach its full length and no further? Alright, I can do that.
In effect, yes.
Yeah. It's not even really necessarily a, enchanting job, just,
I didn't feel it may not be. Well, it may well not be. But you are the only one with a forge that we have visited so far.
Out of character, I'm just going to Google the cost of a quarterstaff real quick.
I think it's like 5 silver pieces, if that.
Just double checking. 2 silver pieces.
Ooh.
Alright, it's gonna be finicky, and that's not an easy piece of engineering, so... 20 gold, and I'll need the day, but you can pick it up in the evening. Yeah, I should be able to do that.
I look to the rest of the group, as if checking to see it's okay for Ganassi to spend money on himself.
Well, you self-appointed yourself treasurer, so...
Well, that is understandable, but when it comes to spending
If your
coin on
quarterstaff is too
myself...
big, I'll carry it for you. That's not a problem. I can
Not
throw it
need
at
to-
you. But if it's something you want, it's something you want.
To answer your concern, Navali, I recognise that when it comes to one who has the treasure... Calliope, apologies. That owns the...
In his defense, I think you're
the
still
possession
called
of the treasury.
Navali on Discord.
You are, but it's
Yeah.
okay. One that is appointed as such, there may be some concern over if I was to spend coin on myself. So I simply wish to confirm it was okay to do so.
That's fine.
In which
It's
case,
gonna help the group.
In which case, I offer it's 300 for yours, and then 200 for mine. So I offer 320 gold pieces.
Just before you do that, in the interest of like speeding up a roleplay thing, is there anything else that Daxos may or may not have, which would kind of be the equivalent of a kind of finesse reach weapon that Jason could use within that same bracket?
Finesse reach weapon. I might have just
or something with a bit of range. Okay, sweet.
He goes into one section and he pulls off this beautiful spear whose tip seems to be made out of a black, jagged metal. It almost resembles like Shan Yu's sword from Mulan, the spear tip. And it has a section off the side that crests around the side, like a sort of like a spear that doubles as a sickle, or has like this moon crescent thing on the sides.
Okay.
Anything in terms of range weapons?
Well, this technically counts as a range weapon, seeing as you can throw it, but I got other stuff. So just to quickly recap this one, I made this puppy under the dead of night on the day of Nikta. So it's got extra darkness powers.
And how much is it?
This puppy will run you 300 gold pieces, golden drachmi. When it's in moonlight, it can shed light for about 30 feet total. And it is unaffected by darkness, magical or otherwise.
Get it?
Sweet. I'd like to exchange the kind of upgraded whip for that then, if possible, because it's the same price.
Oh, and it'll also has a bit of a kick once a day.
Okay, I look forward to seeing that in my inventory.
Okie dokie, so you are now the proud owner of Samakov 300 gold, and you are now the proud owner of the Eclipse Spear.
Ooh, love it.
I've marked the coin off.
Thank you very much. Also, in the interest of Jason being quite stoic, how much was Ganassi's staff? Was it 20?
Yes, 20.
Okay, cool. Guy Jason's gonna pay the 20 for his staff then, as like a gift.
And he turns to you, Calliope.
That's 20 gold, right?
Yeah, 20 gold. He turns to you, Calliope, and says, "You looking for ammo or weapon?"
What do you have?
I don't have any bows at the moment, but I am taking commission. Give me a second, and he sort of just rustles through the fletching section of his abode. He comes back and he has 3 arrows that seem to be comprised of like the metal on the tip seems to be made out of like a reddish, like a pale reddish metal, and something about them, they look like they're perpetually about to crumble into dust.
Okay.
He pulls out 3 of them. These were not easy to make. These are rust arrows.
Yes.
What do they do?
They're only good for 1 shot, but I'll just read it out of character because I'm not RPing this.
Do it.
So it's a quiver of rust arrows that contains 3 rust arrows. Once it hits the target, an arrow flakes away into dust and is destroyed. When you make a ranged attack with a rust arrow and hit a target that is either wearing non-magical metal armor or holding a non-magical metal shield or weapon, that armor or weapon takes a permanent and cumulative -1 penalty to its AC or damage rolls, respectively. You choose what object takes the penalty. If an armorer's penalty reduces its AC to 10 or its bonus AC to +0, or if a weapon's penalty drops to -5, that object is destroyed. If the target is a non-magical ferrous metal object that isn't being worn or carried, the arrow destroys a 1-foot cube of it.
That is so much information. Out of context.
Basically, you can dissolve their armor if you hit it, and if it goes down past a certain point, it just destroys the armor completely.
You can also target objects and destroy a foot of metal. It has to be ferrous metal, though.
Such as a lock.
Yeah, you could just break into places.
Could be useful. What's the damage on that?
A chain.
On those two?
200 gold pieces each.
Right. Okay, I'll keep that in mind.
I mean, they literally eat metal.
That's fine. Okay.
We do have the coin.
Daxos chuckles. Nah, I'm just fucking with you.
We do.
How much was the damage?
200 gold pieces per arrow. There are 3 available.
I really don't trust my.
We could get 2.
I don't want to spend that much money on something I might fuck up. Let's just take 1 for now. We can always come back.
I mean, if you guys have something in
the one
particular
arrow?
you want, just tell me. I can maybe work out something.
Sorry, what was that?
Daxos says, is there something specific you want? Because I'm always looking for ideas.
Any chance you can make me some arrows that can do more damage?
How much more damage on a scale of 1 to 10?
11.
It'll cost you a pretty penny, but I got an idea.
Okay. Then we'll have to go and save more cats.
Tempest, the mighty cat savers.
Hey, we all start somewhere. Oh man, I was just trying to find a specific object, because I know exactly what I'm gonna make. Well, Anywho. Story for another time. So.
I mean, we'll be passing back through this way before bedtime anyway, so if we do happen to come across somebody, we could always have a midnight splurge. Ooh, that did not sound...
We know what you meant.
You guys are
Can be
quickly
worse than...
You guys are quickly becoming my favorite customers. I'm just gonna say that now. This is too much fun.
Well, we're glad to amuse. Shall we go check on the cat?
Sure, let's go.
Have a good day.
Thank you,
buddy.
boy.
Hey, what was the address for this cat?
Oh, so it's not too far from your location. You just sort of head south for about 15 minutes or so. So southeast.
I read an address in a vague direction.
Can we check for the cat en route as well? Like, it could just be hanging around.
There may well be more than one cat.
Oh, that's true, we don't know what the cat looks like.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is there a...
We could, but indeed, if the search is for a cat rather than a specific cat, we can acquire a cat preemptively.
That with my son once. He had a fish he was very fond of. and it didn't quite make it.
Aw.
I think we just
Fortunately, he was very young and he didn't realise that the fish went from orange to blue, but it's fine.
He went to live on a kelp farm upstate.
You don't get kelp farms upstate. I head off to we head over to the address.
Okay. You travel for about 15 minutes or so, and soon enough you are at the location. You see a very, like, this area is sort of much more the residential lower commons area, very basic housing, often stacked on top of itself. Not slums, it's by no means slums. This is still Meletis, so everyone has a fairly okay lifestyle, but this is definitely where the more blue-collar residents of the city live. And you see a small, simple terracotta house with a plain blue shingle roof.
I believe this is the place.
Okay, I'll knock on the door.
You
That's
approach. After a moment, there's a thump, 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 and a woman opens the door to you. She's got sort of straw hair, a bit of slight bags under her eyes, a few lines on her face. Someone who looks a bit visibly tired. She's holding a baby in her arms. Can I help you?
Hello. We heard you might have a missing cat. Is that correct?
I'm sorry, I don't understand.
Hello. There was a notice at the place where the traditional place one places bounties or missives for assistance. One such note had this address and mentioned a lost cat playing outside and a loud noise that has been missing for 3 days. The note said the lost cat of a little girl.
Oh, she rolls her eyes. Nephile! Come here now. And you...
As that happens, I'm going to kind of sort of like lean back and like go to Wesley going, this would suggest there may not be much of a reward.
It's fine. All we need is renown.
So you hear a little pattering of footsteps, and you see a little girl with rosy cheeks, similar straw hair like her mother, a huge gap in her front teeth, missing a couple as well as they've fallen out. Very basic chitin. She sort of like patters up, says, "Yes, mater? Did you post on the Statue of Erebus looking for someone to find little..." I didn't actually name the cat.
Constance.
I'm sure the little girl will have named it at least.
Little Phobos again. The little girl's eyes light up. You saw my message. You're going to find Phobos.
Eslin will get down on her knee to like match the child's eye line and be like, "Yes, is there anything you can tell us?"
We play on the cliff sides, just up the valley that, and she points sort of behind her, which you would understand be sort of eastwards towards, like just beyond the cliff face, sort of, obviously the city is wedged between like two cliff faces in this valley area that's well protected. But the plateau part of that, the grasslands. We're playing out on the grasslands. We got a little too far and heard a rumble. And then I saw Phobos was gone, and I knew I'd be in trouble, so I ran home.
And what does Phobos look like?
He's very white, and he has a single spot on his nose. Single black spot on his nose, but white.
And how large is he? Is he a normal cat, or is he Is he, a large
She holds her hands a foot apart. But he looks bigger because he's very fluffy.
I have that
What
same
a-
problem as well. Right,
Very
Okay.
fluffy.
He magic.
Ganassi says as he writes down the notes.
Yes, he makes my loneliness disappear.
Okay, so my name's Eslin, and we are Tempest, and we will have a look for your cat for you.
Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. The woman says, I can't afford a reward, so understand that if you're doing this out of the goodness of your hearts. I am sorry,
That's
but
fine.
I'm a weaver who has 2 kids and no husband, so...
No, that's fine.
You weave. I wonder, could you perhaps weave an emblem?
Do you have a picture?
No, we have yet to decide on one for our group, but perhaps that may be a way we can find agreement.
Make a
But
persuasion check.
also,
Thank. Nope.
18 plus 2 for a non-natural
Nice.
20.
She looks down at her daughter, whose little lower lip is quivering. Please, mother, Phobos is my best friend. And the mother's like, if you can bring back that stupid cat, I will weave your symbol at a reduced cost.
certainly, that sounds great.
I can't
I
do
mean,
better,
also-
I'm sorry.
If you wouldn't mind spreading some nice gossip about us afterwards and about our deeds, that would be wonderful.
Absolutely. That I can do. She gives you a strained, though you get the sense not through any fault of your own, but genuine smile.
So which way was your child pointing? Can we go straight in that direction, or
There's
would
a
we have
god's
to?
path. It's a bit tricky, but yes, the Plateaulands children often play out there. I tell them not to go beyond the path, but there's a north-facing path that if they cross it, they know they're not supposed to. I'm assuming that's what this little whipper did.
Is this because it is a sheer face?
There are sheer
The end
faces. Also, there's forests where maybe there are lions or other things that, you know, it's don't go too far from home.
I mean, I am wearing like a lion cape, and we do have like a lion with us, and so like. Cool. Alrighty,
Yeah, the little girl's like, whoa, that's big, Kitty. And then points to your cloak. That is also big, Kitty.
just sort of.
Oh. That's cute. Can we adopt the child, please?
We cannot steal
No,
some.
She goes up to Amalia's leg and tries petting her leg.
I mean, you can have this cat if you'd like. She's very handy in a battle.
Oh my god.
Are we now trading members of Tempest?
No, of course not.
Oh, I just wish to be sure that that was not on the cards for the future.
Wow.
That was what those would call in Hesira a joke. I am willing to do it from time to time.
Oh, you know the meaning of that. Wow.
Alrighty. Thank you for your time. We hope to return back with Phobos sometime soon.
Good luck.
This is where we have to fight like an earth giant or something. Like,
In before.
for a fucking cat. Cool, let's roll. Do you still have that bacon fish? I mean, that pocket fish?
What?
Pocket fish? No wonder your fucking fish died if you keep it in your pocket.
No, No, I swear someone was like, I'll take some fish for later.
I feel like you're conflating Critical Role with this, and I'm
No,
flattered,
no.
I was
I was
gonna
gonna
say, do we
say,
have a
you
sprinkle
meant to say
situation?
pocket bacon as well, didn't you? But you said bacon fish. Okay, cool. I just want to make sure that we don't
let's just
skip
go at the
past
second
that.
battle, alright?
I want bacon fish now.
I really want bacon fish now.
We will head the
Right.
way she told us.
All right. Yeah, sure enough, you go past the houses and you're sort of greeted by this very sheer cliff face that's sort of just earthy. It's not like falling would be dangerous, but it's not like slippery rocks or anything. There's a sort of well-worn goat's path that goes up. And you easily enough are able to, after a bit of a everyone make a strength saving throw.
Oh boy. Strength, really?
22 for Jason.
Oh, one was a natural one. The other one is a 16.
Wait, is
you have
that
advantage on strength saving throws?
Yeah, because of the cloak of protection, it rolls all saving throws with advantage.
With a +1, no, not advantage.
Oh, is it not? Oh fuck! Then I get a whole 6.
A bit of a difference. That's a shame.
I know.
got a
It's really
5.
good.
15 for me, 13 plus 2.
Okay. Amalia? I will roll for Amalia. Natural 20.
Oh, yay!
Hey.
Calliope?
6 minus 1.
Okay, so
Fine.
I did get a natural 1, plus my +1, and plus my +4.
okay. So
Like,
you guys scale this like quite steep incline, and you arrive at the top. So you're like, you're greeted by a very nice breeze, and sort of like buffets your hair, and you can see the landscape around and the waves lapping against the beaches down below. Jason, you stand next to him. Amalia, you two sort of like basking in this moment. Then you hear behind you. As the other two members of the group just like clamber up.
Full on General Grievous.
Yeah, pretty much. You guys stand up, both of you, and then still keel over and just like hold up your finger like.
This is a lovely cliff face. I wonder if the view is just as nice from that cliff over there.
can I see?
Oh,
I'll
yes.
kill you.
Yeah, Eslin, you're with your armor on, you this is the first time you've properly trekked with your armor on in what could be considered difficult terrain, and you didn't realize how much the water makes that thing lighter underwater. So you're like,
No! Where are you cat?
you guys to hear no response.
Is there anything we can see where we're standing?
So you see like the ocean and sort of some more rocky cliff faces that sort of meet the ocean if you travel maybe 500 feet to the south, to the east where you guys sort of came up and sort of were facing. You see just rolling valleys and sort of sub-plateaus and like separated terrain. The entire landscape here looks sort of like what the Earth would look like after it was sort of rendered uneven by an earthquake, but everything's sort of set quite strongly. It's sort of alternating terrain is like a word. There's some pockets of trees and forest the further down you go. You see the path that you were made aware of, that is sort of the line not to cross.
Are there any like cracks in the ground that the cat could have fell in from like the earthquakes and shit?
Make a perception check.
17.
You don't see any along the. You don't see any cracks that a cat could be caught unawares by. Put it that way.
Okay.
There's cracks here and there, but they're large-ish and they look like they've been there a while. You surmise a cat could probably hop out of those if it wound up in one.
I'm gonna go get closer to the cliff face itself. Well, effectively, yeah, and Gnassi's kind of just going to lean over to see if there's the sign of any broken bodies or anything else lovely like that.
Make a perception check.
Okay, I was waiting for when the poor dice will come in. Actually, still not too bad. 9 plus 5 for 14.
You see a couple. You see everyone like, oh, there's something white down there, but oh no, wait, no, seagull. Never mind. Nothing white that is still or doesn't have wings.
And I'll probably just stay there, just continuing to scour. And actually, yeah, I suppose look down at my feet and then look to the rest of the party and go, anyone proficient in tracking feline creatures?
I mean, I can aid someone in trying to find the cat, but don't think I'm proficient.
See, I'm quite good at handling animals, but not necessarily tracking animals. That would be nature, right?
Survival.
Isn't it animal handling?
Survival.
Survival.
Oh,
Dash.
I'm decent. I'm a
cat.
decent survivalist. Can I check for little paw prints? Or...
Make a survival check.
Okay. Please be good.
Oh, you've said it now.
It's not gonna be good. Oh no, that's good. That's an 18 plus 4, 22.
Nice.
Over the course of an hour, you search about, and you find several paw prints, and you're like, oh, wait, no, that's too big. Oh, wait, no, that's too big. Also too big. That is a hoof. That looks like it belongs to a wolf. But eventually, you stray beyond the path, and you see some sort of your attention is caught by these tossed up sections of earth. And when you go near them, you do see a few very faint but slight paw prints that look like they could be cat-sized.
Okay, I'll whistle over to everybody that wasn't following me or was just looking around, and here, the little paw prints. Can I continue to follow them?
Make another survival check.
Another one.
Before you follow them, is it okay if I go over and leave a paw print next to it just to make sure it is a cat? Does that make sense?
Go ahead. You put them next to each other. This paw print is about this big.
19.
19 total?
Yeah.
You don't see any more paw prints around this area. Just the couple in that spot where they were.
Is he in the tree?
What are these raised areas of dirt? Something burrowed, perhaps? Does it look like loose earth?
It does.
Could be a cattle path.
Maybe someone.
What
picked
creatures
up the
from
cat?
here would burrow and snatch prey from underneath? A snake of some kind, perhaps?
Oh, better not be a worm.
I cannot be dealing with any more snakes anytime soon.
Yeah,
I'm
any
pretty sure it's
slithering
not a
creatures.
snake.
If it's a snake, I'm leaving.
I initially go as if to use my hand to excavate, then stop, think better, and cast. And then I cast. Oh no, I haven't got it.
You're
Damn.
trying to cast Mage Hand?
I was gonna. I don't have it.
I have it.
Shit!
I'm gonna cast Mage Hand and just. What are you trying to do? Just.
I
put a
was
bit of
into.
dirt
I
out?
thought it was best to excavate the loose earth and see if it led anywhere or if there was signs of where it led.
Yeah,
This
I'm
is
gonna
now
try and do
3
that.
days. If this was where we last was here, this is now 3 days old. This path, but it may still.
Can I
Have
tell
something
how
as
old it is? Is it recent or is it 3 days old?
Make a nature check.
Oh no.
I say this
Um,
based on the fact that the poster was sent to
10.
said it was 2 days ago, and we completed another assignment that day.
So you don't notice any earth that's sort of like dusty fresh kind of thing. Everything looks to be somewhat settled. It's definitely didn't just happen.
Okay. Yeah. 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 Here, Buffaloes. Here, cat. I didn't ask if it was a girl or boy. Here, they.
Oh boy.
Hey, kitty, 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 kitty.
Here, kitty, kitty. Aslan's got some food for you.
Make a performance check, Calliope. No.
Tell me it's a natural one. Tell me.
Hey.
There it is.
+6.
Here,
Guys, jail.
kitty.
It sounds like if Joe Exotic actually sung that song.
Oh, sorry. I'm still a little breathless from, climbing. Woo! Took a load out of me.
I thought it was lovely. A very inventive song.
Nice jail for you.
While the tunnel, or while the earth is excavated, is it continue to be loose earth? Does it lead a path anywhere
Make
underground?
a survival check.
I will have a, and after a while, I will actually get my hands involved to assist as well. And I will look for my dice, which is that. Oh, balls. 5 + 3 for a total of 8.
We're doing good, guys.
He's not up in the tree, is he? Like, if we look
There
up,
are no
he's not
trees where
there.
you guys are. The trees are a bit
okay.
further
Are
on.
there any trees? Oh, okay.
They're a little bit down the ways. About like 100 feet or so.
So this cat just teleported. Is it a blink cat?
I've heard of blink dogs, but blink cats.
Have you heard of blink dogs? I'll allow it.
Probably blink
Wait, do we
snakes.
have a map?
Or blink scorpions.
I've got some rations in my bag, so I'll take out like part of it, something that the cat would eat, and just put it on the floor.
I feel that the cat is long gone at this point.
Oh, yes, but
I have tried to find.
There's no sign of blood or a disturbance, so
Well, the loose earth makes me think that will be where it was taken from. I just do not know where this path leads, if it leads at all. I am not good with digging earth. I sort of like stand away and sort of like brush my hands.
Yeah,
Bit grumpy
I
with
think
like
it
the
might have
dirt
been,
and earth on my hand.
I'm gonna for 10 minutes. I'm gonna cast not detect good and evil. I'm gonna cast protection from good and evil on myself.
Okay.
And then I'm going to stick my hand in the ground.
Oh no.
Bit wet. Kind of gross. I mean, it's like just, it's earth.
Just
Bit of poop.
You think you feel a rock? Like a little stone?
okay. I'll take my hand out. Can I take my hand out of the ground?
Do you try to?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I did have my hand in there a few moments ago, but
Yeah, I was
I
gonna
thought
say.
you didn't have your real hand in there. I thought you had
oh,
your
I
mage hand in there.
it was not. I am
No,
not
I
capable
did.
of casting that.
Oh.
I got impatient, so I tried myself, and then promptly regretted it because. Ugh.
So many clippable moments this episode.
I take my water skin and just pour out a little water so Ganassi can, wash his hands.
Thank you. I sort of like I use Gust like a hairdryer. I sort of like a hand dry.
Meow, 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 meow.
Is there like a path up ahead from where the paw prints were?
What kind of path?
Like, is there a path like leading to somewhere like a cave or something?
So there's the road which you guys stepped over. Like, there's like a basic cobbled road which is part of this landscape, and you guys stepped over it, and you're now at this area with disturbed earth. There's some trees off, like to one side, a little bit ahead, some other cliffs area, some more trees further down. It's sort of just like an uneven grassland / hills.
I guess we could walk a little bit longer.
Should we check the trees as we make our way, just in case it climbed up something, maybe?
Did not see any, but if we do come across any, we can check for scratch marks.
Or, cat's got to go to the toilet somewhere. Maybe that's what we just stuck our hand in.
So what are you guys doing?
Yeah, we'll follow the path further ahead.
There's no outright path. You guys are just walking on grassland. The road goes north, like away from you guys.
I think, taking into like the direction of where the cat footprint was, it looks like it was facing towards where this mound of loose earth was. So, just on the sheer guess that if something grabbed said cat and burrowed off in the other direction, I will start walking in the direction as if the cat was still walking forward. So basically, as if that tunnel then led straight backwards, and then look to see if we can see any other signs of.
All right. How long do you walk for?
What time is it now? Actually, where's the sun in the sky at the moment?
It's starting to hit the center.
Maybe give it another hour and then give up. And then we'll buy a new cat.
Alright, you travel forward for about 10 minutes or so, and you're about to sort of hit the area where you start to see things like pockets of trees and things like that.
Any sign of any sort of tracks of the cat, any scratch marks or...
Make a survival check.
Uh, 17?
You notice a couple more sections of similarly disturbed earth.
Is it cat shit?
Make a perception check.
11?
No, it's not cat shit.
Okay, cool.
With a 17, the disturbed earth heads towards one of the pockets of trees.
Okay, move a bit further forward. Start looking in the trees. Meowing all the way.
Meow. I will start, as we start walking, my feet will leave the ground, and I will, as I cast Levitate on myself, as I will walk sort of eye level with the tree branches, and I'll go for pretty much I'm going to do an actual spot check of the
Make a perception
branches
check.
as we go through. 16 plus 5 for a 21 total.
Nice.
Peering around for about 5 minutes or so with you guys follow this faint meowing sound, meow, meow, as that's responding to your meows. You navigate through a couple of the trees and you see a small white cat with a black spot on its nose, sort of sitting on a branch.
Does it look injured? Can I see? Does it is its posture seem somewhat
another
injured?
perception check.
Yeah, I'll let myself get closer as well as I do so.
Can I also make one to see if it's disturbed or hiding from something?
Make a perception check for that as well.
Perception too. Sweet.
17 total.
Doesn't look injured.
Can I try to
That's
get
12.
it to come towards me?
Doesn't look disturbed from what you can tell. You can certainly try. How do you do so?
Animal handling?
Yep, go ahead and make an animal handling check.
Oh, 21. 17 plus 4.
Nice.
Cool. You coax it in, and the cat sort of looks at you curiously. Meow. Sort of makes a tentative step to put its paw out. It's sort of judging the distance, whether it can jump or not.
How high up is it?
It's standing on a branch that's about say 20 feet up.
Oh, okay, it's quite high.
Ooh.
A branch that begins to curl, and you notice that this branch is one branch that goes into 5 littler branches that curls around the cat, and the second other larger branch scratches the back of the cat, and the entire tree turns, revealing a face, a hollow, like a knot hole that is a mouth, to amber eyes. And the roots begin to like tentacles out of the ground. And you notice that creating similar patches of disturbed earth as this enormous animated tree turns to look at you guys.
Hi.
Go away.
So, that actually belongs to a very young girl who, she misses it very dearly. She'd very much like to see him again.
My friend.
But we can be your friends, and there's no reason the cat can't come back to visit you.
Bring new friend. Give
I'll be your
old friend.
It wishes to make a trade, the girl for the cat. I fear this may not be an equitable transaction.
No girl. Just a friend.
Okay, so basically another animal for the cat.
Well, no, actually, we have a friend who's very lonely. He runs a blacksmith in the center of town.
Bring friend stay.
I don't know if he'd very much like to stay.
He also works on a forge.
Bring friend
tree.
Stay. The trees begin quivering. The branches begin leaving.
No, of course. But the thing about friendship is, what you've got to understand is that people need their own space. Like you need your own space. You need your space to grow and become your own person. You can't stay with one person all the time. It would just, you wouldn't have the space to be who you really are. So friends can come and visit, but they can't stay with you forever.
Make a persuasion
Is
check.
this considered a humanoid?
No.
Yeah. What?
Yeah,
Sorry.
try.
Whilst this
I don't
conversation
know.
is happening,
Am I just like
whilst this conversation is happening,
Sorry, I shouldn't have said that like that. It's just- Yeah, sorry.
can I see whether or not it's whether or not it's the one tree, or if it's like the surrounding trees are the same, or if it's just the one tree itself?
Make a
Oh,
perception
good shout.
check. Make a perception check.
That's a
Perception?
17 plus 4, so 21. No, that's not. That's Yeah, 17 plus 4 is 21. That's how math works.
It is.
That is true.
Breaks my heart to say this, but the tree just says, "Bring friend. Friend stay."
Friend not stay.
Estlin, stop.
By the way, I got a natural 20 on the roll, and it's 21, so in total.
None of the other trees seem to be moving an inch.
Okay, cool.
Wow.
Or at least they're naturally they're naturally swaying in the breeze, but nothing... Like, you're looking at their topography or sort of their layout as well. These other trees don't look... because this tree has sort of like two branchy hands. Which, you know what, fair enough.
Yeah.
Could be figured for
it's fine.
assuming
It's
humanoid, but the other ones are sort of more miscellaneous in their layout.
Cool.
Yeah,
How far are we from this tree?
You guys are right under it.
I'm probably at height, like eye height with where the I'm probably quite close with the face then, I guess, because if I was cat height,
It looks like, "Bring new friend, then give little friend."
Can we try and like find him a squirrel or something?
Exactly what I was
Is
thinking.
that gonna
I was
be
going to say, can we look around for like smaller animals or similar animals?
what about a fish? It won't escape.
A nice portion of bacon fish.
That is amazing.
That was so good.
Ganassi's logic is undeniable. It's something, that's for sure. I will migrate higher. I don't really know how don't know how to catch a wild animal, but I will move a bit higher to over the tree line and sort of like peer to see if I can see any other.
I have a mage hand.
Make a perception check.
Is that me?
Yeah.
Hello, 6. 11 total.
See a few birds.
Can I make a separate one?
Make a separate perception check.
I mean, we could possibly go downtown and buy... What about the seagulls earlier? We saw lots of seagulls.
I'm not sure that dead birds are going to be the thing for it.
No. The seagulls weren't dead.
No flying rats.
Okay, what about squirrels or anything like that?
Bring friend. He just continues to... You notice
for fuck's
actually...
sake, I hate this tree.
It looks like he's looking after the... Like, he is
being
tending.
very gentle with this cat.
Yeah.
What if the little girl came here and wanted to play with the little cat? Would you cause her any harm?
No harm. Always play happy.
Can I do an insight check on a tree to
Make
see
an
if
insight
a tree tells the truth?
Make an insight check with fucking vantage.
No way! Yeah, that's entirely reasonable. Okay, so it's either 16, and that is... So the lowest score is 14 total.
It's hard to read wood, but he seems honest.
There is something about its straightforward nature that I respect. I believe it. Do you have a name, creature?
Fuck you. 1 minute.
And
You know me, names mean power. I will acquire all of the names.
my name is Treebeard.
His name is Oki.
We're in Wouldn't it be more
What's
more like
yours?
olive?
Or woody.
Thistle spine.
Thistle spine. Sounds like a Tim Burton poem.
Can we have like a little powwow for like just a second? I don't really feel right about killing this thing. It seems very sad and lonely.
Yeah, I don't feel like it's a violent creature, by nature at least.
Though I would wish to find out if it has had friends in the past.
That was going to be my next question. I mean, we could just find like a pile of cat corpses over there, in which case.
I would
What's
say
that
would be
Family
the
Guy
best
thing
case
where it's like,
scenario.
I knew she'd stop ripping them in half eventually.
Oh yeah, it's the gorilla, isn't it? Yeah.
It's a gorilla.
I fear that the best case scenario may well be cats or similar small animals that may have fallen foul. I wish to ensure that is all that has fallen foul, if that.
I mean, I can communicate with fish a little bit and ask them to be friends, but whether they understand that or not is entirely up to the fish.
I float back up.
It looks
Thistle
at you.
spine. Have you had friends like this small one before?
No.
Have
How
you
about
had
bigger
friends
friends?
like one of my companions, or maybe a smaller version of one of my companions?
No. Run away.
Perhaps they judged without knowing you. Understandable for younger beings.
Back it up, Grandpa.
I mean, he could travel with us if he can move very well and be our friend.
Are we legitimately going to have a treant as our hireling? Because I mean, I'm on board with this. I have no qualms at all. Like, if that's our call. I think our party movement speed may be somewhat restricted.
He seems lonely, and to be honest, I think we've been quite good company to each other.
Thistle spine. This place which you reside, is this your home, or do you wander?
Home.
And would you wish to remain here, or would you be willing to move?
Stay. Bring friend.
No, we're on about taking you with us on our adventures. Would you like that?
No.
Why not?
Here. Home.
We could be your home.
With all due respect, guys, I have a feeling that the term roots run deep is quite apparent here.
I mean, he did just pick them up to go and pick up the cat, so I think he can move them.
The metaphorical roots, though, I believe.
But also, we don't know whether or not like he went out to pick him up, or we don't know whether he went out to find the cat, or if he heard the cat, or if the cat it could have just been a complete circumstance. Considering this is the first time he's picked one up.
See, so here's the thing. I love my home, and I would have stayed there my entire life had events not got in the way. And it's when you're taken out of your comfort zone that you get to truly experience what majesty the world brings, and meet new people, meet good people, meet some not so good people. But staying in the same place for your whole life, it's no way to live.
Make a persuasion check with disadvantage.
All collect. Be good.
Was that both dice?
Both dice were very good. I will send a screenshot because this is bullshit. One was a 19 and the other one was a natural 20.
Wow.
That's not
Well,
bad,
not
is
bad.
it? That's not bad.
It's a nice disadvantage roll.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
I will never have a roll like this again in my life.
You've been cheated, you're nat 20. Damn disadvantage.
What does that put you at total?
23.
This my home. I'm legitimately sorry, but it was a very high DC.
No worries.
It was so fucking close, though. Bastard.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, we're trying to grab a pretty OP hireling. It was going to be a hard roll. If we try this again in 3 levels' time,
it's not
all,
like
all bets are off.
It's not like a mindless beast that's got no attachment to its.
Yeah.
It's a tough one.
These things are nothing if not sentimental.
I do believe there may be a way to solve this. Where you found this, the creature you hold, do you know its name, by the way?
Phobos.
Yes, it is. Where you found little Phobos, you were not by the forest. You were closer to the town. Would you be content spending some time there regularly? Perhaps in sight of the small beings that you said once ran from you in fear. I propose the following. It is possible for one of us to construct a sign or message that can be left for the... He stops himself before he says little people. The young of this
Well, there goes our
town.
sponsorship.
This town. To let them know that you are safe and mean them no harm. You would then have friends that you could carefully, remember they are small and frail, much like the one you hold, but carefully...
The cat's purring, by the
play.
way.
If you could and would be willing to give your word that you would not bring harm to the little ones that would play with and around you, I would be willing to look into finding a way we could erect a sign where you could spend some time by and the little ones could play. They may not always play with you. Little ones are fickle in their nature. Plus, they do have to sleep quite a lot. But you would have more friends. And one such friend could reclaim, and he gestures to the purring cat, their lost friend in the process.
No harm. Word.
I look to the bard and go, I believe...
But also bring friend stay.
you would have more than one friend, but they would need to return home from time to time. But they would also return again, much as the sun rises and sets.
Make a final persuasion check.
It's a +2, guys, so I'm not hugely looking forward to this. And it is a. I'm print screening this.
No.
It's going to be a natural
It's a natural
20.
Is it a natural 20?
On the top right, and the roll at the bottom.
That's a nat 20.
It is, but the total is only 22.
Fuck no, a nat 20 is a nat 20. It sort of looks down at the cat. Then holds it out.
I will carefully take it into my hand, leave it for a moment
Make
to
an
allow
animal
him
handling
to.
check.
Ah, shit!
Oh
no!
no!
Okay, 16 plus 3, 19. So
Oh.
that's all right.
Cat's a little bit like.
This is where all my dice come in. Oh, fuck. Okay. And I sort of like position it in such a way so it can take like an extra stroke from later on. I'm not like stealing away. I'm like very like almost like there's something almost very ritualistic in how the Ganassi moving. And sort of like, yeah, his eyes definitely have that glint that he has had in times in the past when he's made agreements.
The humanoid tree takes a final pet of the cat, and then you see a very, very somber face as it lets it go, but a look of understanding and at the same time, sorrow.
I'm sure your friend will also be back. And I will slowly allow my levitation to end as I come back to the ground.
Can we ask you one more question?
Stay. Ask.
As previously mentioned, we have a friend who struggles to make friends on equal footing. Everyone views him as a sort of god of some kind, and it often gets in the way of, him making long-term relationships that are based on equal footing. Is there anybody that you hold in particular high regard, or is everyone equal to you? Because I feel this could be a good friendship for you both.
Earth Mother protects, but friends are friends.
He'll be very happy to hear that, I'm sure. Thank you.
I shall remain true to my word, and I shall see that a plaque and sign is placed where ye first met. Phobos. You may wait there if you wish.
Harm. Word.
And I, again, ritualistically bow my head, and then I turn to return. Yeah.
Bows at you back.
And yeah,
He'll begin shifting his routes and heading back to where he.
In fact, as we're going back, I'm actually Ganassi going to walk at it, assuming that it's not going to be moving a super. Well, actually, it's a big tree. It might do, but I'll move with the tree. So we spend as we're going back, I'm sort of like alongside. So I've not just buggered off straight away.
What is a treant's movement speed? Good question. Oh, same as yours.
Yes, when it wants to sprint, it probably can,
yeah.
And even if it's slow, it's big. Yeah, I'll move back. I'll walk back with it.
Yeah, easy
And
enough. In about
as
the
we-
same time as you guys traveled over, it will find back to the spot, and then you watch as it sort of, still the somber look on its face. It will sort of recede and then take the shape of a normal tree again.
Calliope, you're quite good with words. Do you think you could possibly, I don't know, make the sign poetic in a way?
I'm sure you could do better than I.
I can try. Are you really gonna make me roleplay this? Because I.
Oh, I'm gonna make you fucking roleplay this.
There's this thing
Are we
called the
making the sign
Lorex.
I don't know. Are you
You have-
making the sign now?
You have time to. We have yet to acquire someone to create a sign, and I do feel it should be well made and well crafted.
Daxus might
How about
appreciate
the-
this because
Girl's mother. She was gonna make.
we're not going to let the Ent keep her.
I think. Did you mean more for the sign?
Top of the sign.
I think she was more of a seamstress than a wood carver or something, and I was thinking something that would stand to the test of time. A plaque or
Okay.
post would withstand the elements more than a cloth, and it would be in keeping with the agreement to ensure the sign lasted.
Okay.
The name of
Well,
the being
we
was
can always-
Thistle Spine, if that helps for the purpose of poetry.
Well, we can always ask Axos if he can make a plaque, sign, or some sort of a monument. Yes. No.
Yeah.
Seems reasonable.
Yes. I don't know about you guys, but I'm not very good with that kind of stuff.
I have
I'm more than
to
happy to.
reclaim my staff, and when I do so, I can speak regarding what we need.
Okay.
I feel the
We're
cat
going to
is
do that.
getting fidgety. We should probably get back soon.
That's fine.
It is kneading my chest, and its claws are rather sharp.
Well, as a wizard, maybe cloth is, not the best idea for cat claws.
I did not think that far ahead, if I am honest.
So, guys, where you headed?
Dropping a cat off. Not physically dropping it. Although it would land on its feet. Returning to the...
Girls' home.
Easy
Yes,
enough.
they-
The path is much more accessible on the way down than it was on the way up. And you knock on the door, and the little girl is elated. The mother is like, I'll be damned. I honestly thought you were going on a wild goose chase, but color me impressed. Where the hell was it?
Oh,
Playing
we
in the
went to
woods.
It would do us well to be honest, Ganassi.
Yeah, I was gonna
Can do.
say.
The cat was sort of adopted by an Ent. A very kindly Ent.
What's an end?
A sort of living tree.
And you killed it.
No. He was very gentle and very sweet, and meant no harm. He just wanted a friend who would talk to him and...
It was looking after the the little one that it
Sweetie,
seems.
you're not to play on that plateau again. You got that?
Well, he is very kind, but I understand if you have reservations.
I don't care what he told you. I'm not letting my child wander off when there's things like that in the woods.
Maybe not your child, but if he could maybe let the cat venture up there every now and again, I'm sure he'll return home.
I'm not letting that child out of my sight.
Of course not the child.
No one was harmed.
He's a very gentle creature. I can't ease your skepticism. Of course, it's something completely unknown to you, but he means no harm. And I hope that you and the townspeople will treat him with decency and kindness where you can.
Ents often are guardians of the forest. They
You do not
tend
know
to.
that. And it's not really, unfortunately, a thing where you come from.
That is fair.
We'll head on our way.
We have yet to come up with a design for our patch, but when we have, I'm sure we will return.
Fine. If there is nothing else, I would bid you good day. Come on, sweetie. We need to have a talk. And she sort of takes, not like roughly or anything, but authoritatively takes the little girl by the arm and sort of leads her to sort of sit down and...
So as the rest of the group go, I wish now to return to Draxos.
Yes.
Let's go.
Alright. Travel back to the shop. This time he's not in the shop. You hear the familiar sound of clanging and different tools being worked in his workshop.
Honey, we're home.
He sort of throws his head out. We've got to stop meeting like this.
Well, do we
couldn't
have
stay
the
away.
story for you?
Tell me everything.
So, we have a friend for you. Have you ever heard of an Ent before?
Yeah, of course.
Well,
No.
there's one that lives nearby, not too far from your shop.
I did not know that.
He's very kind, but he's very lonely. And yeah, he just wants to, well, have a better relationship with the townspeople. I was hoping maybe you could mediate that.
I guess. What do you have in mind?
Well, firstly, you hold sway. People respect you. So if you could let them know that he's not a danger, as long as people aren't a danger to him, and that they treat him with kindness where they can, and offer him conversation where they can as well. Especially if people have like pets, maybe people could walk their animals near there, or he's very kind. He's just.
Did you think about
isolated.
buying him a pet?
I mean, we did. He did sort of have one, and we sort of took it away from him. We're not very nice people at the moment.
It wasn't his pet, you see. Yeah.
Yeah, you could have gotten him one,
I mean, is there a
It's
pet
going
shop
right on a
around here?
gerbil nowadays.
He said he didn't want like a rat or something like that.
I believe he was referring to the birds.
Besides, I thought that I thought that you two could speak as equals, as he wouldn't revere you or think of you as some godly creature.
Well, I'd be lying if I said that wouldn't be a welcome change of pace. All right. Well, I'll do what I can.
You're a good egg.
I'm
Okay,
thinking
maybe-
it may be.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay. I was thinking perhaps a sign could be placed by where it rests to let others know its name.
That's
and
fair.
that it
Give me
is
2 seconds. What do you want the sign to say?
Calliope?
The name's Thistle.
Yeah, I was going.
Thistle Spine.
I wrote it down. Don't worry.
Good.
I was going to suggest, why don't we? Because let's face it, the people of the town don't trust him, especially around kids, which is understandable. He's scary looking. He probably can do a lot of damage if he wished. Shouldn't we try to convince people? I don't know, go for picnics, go for walks in the nature, embrace nature, bring their pets with them, so he can have a bit of company. They can explore the nature a little bit.
Charge admission, sell little keychains with him on it. Daxos says.
Of course, you're looking at that side of it. For sure.
I'm
If you want to
kidding.
take it up.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Oh, you know.
I am actually
You
kidding.
wouldn't like the money.
For selling little shitty keychains? No, I would not like the money. I'm an artist. I'm not a fucking... Not a hack. If I'm gonna make money...
Calliope.
If I'm gonna make money... He's not, like, angry. He's sort of, like, jokingly flippant. If I'm gonna make money off of something, that's gotta be something I'm proud of.
Okay, we'll see.
Think of it this way. Would you feel right taking money for writing a fast food jingle?
Good point. Right then, so can you make this plug for us?
Come and see the magic. What do you want it to say?
Was gonna suggest the Thistle Spine arc. No.
I can do that. Would you maybe want an emblem of this tree and, you know, this sort of pose? You know, like, welcome to
Perhaps.
Thistlespine Park.
Perhaps with one of the branches reaching down to
One person
touch
got there.
and
Welcome to Thistlepine Park.
there appears to be a melodica playing in the distance. They need to work on their tune.
Taxo says, you know what? No, I am here for this. This is great. All right, come on. And he sort of,
Boy,
and
we
he
just
heads
need
back,
Malloy.
and he heads back into his workshop. And he sort of heads into his thing. You hear the sound of like rustling metal, the sound of shifting rock. And from the doorway, you can see him as he sort of grabs this slab of earth, manipulates it with his hands until it sort of liquefies and then spreads out. As he uses, is it stone shape or mold earth, the cantrip? I think it's stone shape.
So yeah, mold earth will just move earth itself.
Yeah. He will use stone shape to create a perfect mold of what you want the sign to be. And then he takes this crucible that he had going for something else, pours out the bronze into the mold, shape waters a splash of water to cool down the bronze, and then stone shapes away the mold, leaving behind a perfect casting of the bronze sign, complete with an inlet in the middle, and he grabs a series of wooden pylons or halves that you get. He uses for maybe spears or stuff like that. Sort of sticks it in place, grabs one of his hammers, pang! Hands it to you guys. And it's
How good are you at engraving?
You couldn't want for a better one. The best, he says.
Might I suggest having an image of a tree holding a cat?
With a spot on its nose. Very important.
He holds one finger
Also, not an actual spot, like a spot of, on the pattern of the cat.
He holds one finger up, and then it begins to glow red, and then almost like an acetylene torch, he traces that. Yeah. And he looks to you guys, and says, you might have mentioned that before I cast the mold, just for future reference. But
Sorry, hindsight's a wonderful thing.
But you know what? No, it's fine, it's fine.
I did want to say it. I wanted to say, but you'd already got in the back, and I was like, this is going to be awkward if he just shouts, like, oh, by the way.
But, yeah. You have your
Nice.
meticulously crafted bronze sign.
I do have a suggestion for what can be written if you are in need of suggestions.
He already wrote on it what you guys told him to write.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like the whole thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then OOC, I have I can put something forward if you would like, unless you had an idea for what you wanted it to be.
Daxos
Go on,
just sighs
knock
and
us out.
says, what do you want it to say?
Let me pop it into the chat, because that's probably going to be easier.
Have you actually wrote a poem?
Of a sort. It's not haiku or anything that rhymes, because that's cheap poetry in Ganassi's eyes. But he has written something. It's like it's sort of like takes the scrawling that he has from his phone, and when I find the Theros note, is there any notes? I don't see. There's Theros. Resting here among the cliff tops, Thistle Spine stands tall. I'm going to change that word from creature to a being of vast size and timeless nature. But such a timeless being can be lonely. A story, a greeting, sharing a moment as you explore the cliff tops. Be kind and expect kindness in return.
That's adorable.
Daxos' finger glows again, but he turns to you all and says, okay, I'm going to amend that. If you have anything else, say so now. Because if you have another suggestion when I'm done, I'm going to beat your guys' shit with this sign. Is that fair? He's very clearly joking when he says that.
Yeah, but still, it's I get that, and I go, that is it.
Reasonable.
So he acetylene torches with his finger the writing in, and it's remarkably good calligraphy. All right, there you go.
Thank you.
How
much do we want?
It's only bronze.
You're very sweet.
Next one's normal price, though. And I'm talking about in general.
As he kind of finishes off, I will ritually cast Floating Disc to carry, because it's going to be quite heavy, I imagine.
He made it quite thin.
I was going to say, yeah, Jason just takes it.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Fine, I'm sort of sat there, like, ready. He's like, oh. Okay, then.
No, Ganassi can do it, and then Jason just casually just takes it from Daxos.
Brilliant. Yeah, cool.
Daxos turns to you, Ganassi, and says, I can also cast you a pair of dumbbells if you like.
I don't think he gets that that's a burn. Intelligence check. That's a 2.
It's about 25% burn and 75% honest offer.
I feel the spell does the heavy lifting for me, but I appreciate the offer.
Maybe we should go and get him a pet just in case as well.
Is there a pet store though?
Come on, Dash.
Come on, Daxus. Is there one?
I thought we were
You guys are
teaching.
such
I
dicks.
thought you were taking Jaxus to.
We are taking him, but we're also going to take him a pet just in case.
But I see.
We cannot account for the nature of people.
Plus, we don't know if he'll get angry because of the sign.
No, he wanted the sign. That's not a bad
It's
thing.
also not made of wood, which was my initial thought may have caused angst. We've made it out of bronze, not a naturally occurring material. It will also last. I feel that is fitting.
Daxos rolls his eyes and says, "Head left when you get out the shop, second right, third left, then first right. His name is Chalcon. You can't miss the shop. Tell him I sent you. You'll be buying it. That's not a freebie. I'm just saying. Tell him I sent you, and he'll know.
Thank you. Thank you.
How many
very
rights and
much.
lefts and rights? I jot the notes down so we get the directions this time round.
But we'll be back for you because we want to introduce you to him. So pack up.
Daxos looks at you like, whatever.
Oh.
Cool. So we go to the pet shop and then we're coming back for Daxus and we're going to the treat.
Daxos just rolls his eyes and says, "What is my life?"
Welcome to my world, buddy.
It's getting better because we're in it.
He bursts out laughing. Sorry, I shouldn't laugh. You're not wrong. It's just the way you said that. All right, you guys follow his instructions, and you see a very small corner shop that has a sign that just says "Muddy Paws" on it.
Cute.
And a couple muddy paw, like brown painted paw prints. And you see,
go in.
Okay, you see
Oh, that's
a
cute.
very old man with sort of like a wispy beard and like slightly frazzled Einstein-y hair. Very sort of like crow's feet at his eyes, like, "Oh, hello."
Hello.
I'll
We're
wait
hoping
outside.
to buy some animals from you.
Of
Like,
course,
quite a
of
lot.
course. And you notice like there is like little bird cages that have like parakeets and other things in them, little pens that have puppies and little box of kittens. What are you looking for in particular, my dear?
So we're maybe looking for the animals that haven't been as well looked after and might need a bit more TLC. You know, the animals that have been here the longest. And maybe one or two, but not birds, if possible.
Oh, I knew this day would come. I have just the thing. And you see, he sort of goes in the back, and then he leads out, "Come on, girl. Come on. It's all right. Today's your day." And he pulls out this... What are they called? Those... They're not bloodhounds. Those dogs that have those really big floppy ears.
Eagles?
No,
Oh,
no.
Deutsch hounds.
No.
Basset hounds.
Is it Basset Hound? Let me Google it.
Oh yeah, Basset is like the
Oh,
big
yeah.
kind of droopy.
Yeah. He pulls out this Basset Hound that's like white in the face as well. This is clearly a dog that's got a few years on it. And it sort of turns and you notice it's missing an eye.
You're coming with us, puppy. Come on.
It sort of nuzzles up to you.
She'll pick her up and just put her straight under his arm. And any more that have been, you know, one or two maybe?
Well, old Petunia there is really the only one who is desperately in need of a good home. She's very lovely. She's just, you know, not as obviously adorable, shall we say. I mean, she's adorable to you and me, but not conventionally adorable.
I think you're
So-
adorable, you cutie.
It just sort of like plants a kiss on you.
Okay, and how much for Petunia?
You know what? If she's going to a good home, take her.
That's very sweet of you, but you've fed her for a very long time, and I want you to be able to look after the rest of these animals as best you can. So, how about I give you a gold piece? for her?
Consider it even. You're very generous. And he accepts the gold piece.
And are there anybody? If there is anybody else that requires a bit of more love, if you could send them to Daxus, and he'll make sure they get to the person that will give them a home till the end of their days.
Oh, I know Daxos, kind boy.
Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much. Yes, I'll contact Daxos. That reminds me, I need to pick up the new order from him.
I mean, we could do that and then come back if you want.
Oh, it's okay. I'm sure it's not ready yet. I know that, he sort of fits it where he can in between the big orders.
Yeah. A wonderful day.
Have a wonderful day as well. Heliod shine upon you.
And that's on you.
He nods and he sort of goes back to feeding the ferrets that he was feeding.
I want to keep the dog.
Is the pet defective?
She's
Wow.
just old.
Fucking hell, man.
Gnassi.
It is
Oh
missing
my
an eye.
God, Daxos, you're
am
the worst person for shooting lightning at this person. How dare you? Fuck all y'all.
Right. Okay, let's go see Daxus. Come on, Petunia.
You go back
Are we
to
are we
Daxos.
carrying Petunia, or is
Oh,
Petunia
I
walking?
am like cradling Petunia like she's
Yeah.
a baby. Like
I was gonna say,
she's a
I'm
good
sure
girl.
my floating disc is still like behind me at the moment. So if need be,
maybe that might be nice around her
like,
legs.
sort of like gently placed on a wheel. Actually, let me just make sure
Can I
that's got.
put on her, like holding her? Like I don't want her to be freaked out by the fact that she's suddenly like flying.
Petunia
let me just make sure.
is...
Dogs have heart attacks.
It lasts for an hour, so it's definitely got the time to kind of be wielded around.
Petunia is like the Big Lebowski levels of chill right now. Just in general, she's just like letting this happen.
So me and Petunia are sat on the disc, and there's just like wind going through her hair, like when dogs put their hair out the window. We're just having
The big
we're
there he is.
vibing.
Her ears are flopping about.
Cute.
Her tongue kind of lolls out and like jostles in the wind.
Oh, I love her. I don't want her to go.
Kill the tree end.
For this 500-year-old dog.
Changing plans, motherfucker.
So we're going back. We'll pick up Daxus. We'll go see our tree.
Cool. You go back to the crucible, and the suits of armor are once again animated and sort of just standing there at the ready. All right, what are we doing?
We're going to make you a friend.
All right, but we got to make one stop first.
Okay.
So he guides you guys, and he's got a big sack over his shoulder.
While we are travelling, I do have a way that I can bring or encourage other townsfolk to congregate where we meet by writing a message in the clouds.
Maybe don't overwhelm him so much. He's not seen people for a long, long time.
That is very wise. I say with there's definitely an element of surprise that has not been concealed enough there.
I am
understand.
very wise. I'm just not intelligent.
Unless he says nothing.
Daxus, where do you want us to go?
Just a couple further blocks. I'm sorry about this. This will only take a moment.
No worries.
Is he acting peculiarly?
Make an insight check.
Oh, the dice giveth, the dice taketh away. Hello, natural one.
Hooray.
Hard to read.
Hard to read.
Cool.
He's just very intently focusing on walking as quickly as we can. Thanks, this will only take a minute. He leads you to this sort of large, very simple-looking building with made out of a brown oaky wood and a sort of simple thatched roof. He knocks on the door, boom, 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 and the door opens, and you see a slightly olderish woman in her 50s or so, has what's clearly some sort of clerical robes, as in like holy robe. She looks up at him. She smiles at him. He wordlessly smiles at her back and sort of hands her the sack. She calmly takes it and nods and thanks him profusely, and then goes back inside. And then shuts the door. He's like, Daxos turns around. Okay, where are we going?
I point up. We both just point up.
All right, hold on. No, I'm kidding. I can't do that.
How many people can get on your disc, Ganassi?
It is quite... If you all sat on each other's lap, quite a few of you. It is only 3 feet wide in diameter.
I don't think we could fit.
Can I offer one of the strugglers from before to...
Can I not just carry someone?
Can one of the strugglers from before sit on my back? Yeah, that's what I'm asking. I'm literally part horse.
Calliope.
Yep, I guess I'll take one for the team.
Daxos rolls his eyes. I need 2 volunteers.
Oh dear.
You know what? Make that 1 volunteer. I'll do it to myself. As a show of goodwill.
You'll do what to yourself?
Turn myself into a giant eagle so we can speed this up.
I'll get on the disc because me and the dog are already here.
From my understanding of Tensor's floating disk, DM, it tries to follow me as best it can until it comes across. I get the impression that if I then just took off in an eagle form, it wouldn't know how to get to where it was, and it would end. Yeah, I think that's fair.
It has to remain. It remains level.
Yeah. Oh, it can still go up and down.
Oh, it can.
Things, but it has to. Yeah, but it can't float in physically in the air. It floats above the ground, but it would follow me even like up inclines. So in theory, it makes climbing the hill easy for someone that sat on it. I'd still have to climb. But if I get on an eagle or become an eagle and fly over there, whether or not it would then know how to snake its way round to get to the hill and climb up, I think.
So it like needs something for it to climb, for it to like, it was almost like a magnetic field. It needs to be like
because it can't cross a pit of 10 feet or deeper. Like if there's a 10-foot pit, it can't cross that. But like an angle, like difficult terrain, hill, that's fine. But if we just take off, does it know how to follow?
It won't have anything to
it just doesn't know how to follow as well. So
would it be easier if I just carry Estlin while Estlin carries the dog?
I mean, I'm pretty athletic. It's just that I rolled a natural 1. Like I can climb this hill.
Yes, but can you climb the hill while carrying the dog?
Let me tell you if I can climb this hill. Let me roll for it.
Make a strength saving
Oh
throw.
god.
Oh boy.
Okay, so that is a 19. I
Oh, so
can climb
we're
the
just,
hill.
we're just
she's
climbing
fine.
normally. I think we're just climbing normally. Oh, actually, yeah, we'll just climb normally.
So you guys make your way over the course of another 20 minutes. It's about... Sun's definitely beyond the midway point at this point. But you go back to that spot, and sure enough, the tree is there.
I'll let Petunia go and see if she takes to him.
Friend.
Very, very gentle with his friend.
He
Very
reaches
old
down,
and
and you
fragile.
watch as his the wooden part of his finger seems to peel away slightly, and these much softer vines snake out slightly,
Aww.
and it sort of reaches down under the dog, and the dog sort of just lets it happen. This is a super dozy dog. Super dozy.
You chose well.
And it sort of pulls it up. The dog sort of like looks at, just licks the bark just straight up. Friend. Brought. Friend. And it sort of snakes a couple branches from its fingers that scratch the dog under the ear.
We'll sort of I'll assist Jason with positioning where we think the plaque should, and probably with the plaque kind of facing the way up the hill, so when people climb up the cliff tape, they'd come across it.
Yeah.
Um,
It's the first thing they see.
yeah. And then I realised that I have no way to put it in the ground, and sort of like at that stage, I kind of just look over Jirax and go,
Yeah. He snaps. He traces a motion that you've seen Eslin trace a couple times when she summoned the trident, except Daxos summons a enormous spiritual hammer. That's sort of like a blacksmith. Yeah. Alright.
Fuck's sake.
And he looks at you guys and says, Alright, don't move this time, okay? And just the hammer swings through the air deftly but precisely, and bang, just plants the thing into the ground perfectly.
We
Yeah.
also have another friend for you. This here is Texas.
Hey, buddy. Friend.
Yes, friend. He's a bit rough around the edges, so you know he won't be with you all the time, but he'll come and make sure that no one's giving you any trouble, won't you?
and this is the friend that has made you such a lovely sign to let other potential friends know where to find you in the future.
Hi, Thistlespine, right? Maybe next time I'll, bring you some, ash for your roots. How does that sound? I don't... He, like, turns back to you guys. I don't know.
You're doing a great job. Just, you know, he doesn't see you as anything special. This is really good. This is really healthy for you.
The tree just kind of looks at Daxos. He just holds a finger out, like, friend, and it just sort of like reaches down with his finger. And just sort of the finger stands there. Daxos just kind of gingerly takes it and shakes it.
I thought he was going to boop him. I thought he was going to boop him on the nose for a minute there.
You may be receiving a shipment of old animals anytime soon. We told him to deliver them to the shop, so you know if you could bring them here if you get the chance.
Daxos looks at you. swear to God, I'm gonna hide a curse in the next item you buy from me.
Okay, that's fine. But remember what we talked about making friends and being nice to people, especially to me, because I will kick your ass.
A, again, I was kidding. It's how I vent when I'm a teensy bit frustrated. And B, I'd like to see you try, but I'm not here to have that discussion. Alright, I will make sure that shipment finds its spot.
You're a good egg.
Thistle Spine, you gave me your word you would not harm those that were brought to you. Will you confirm that word with your new friend Draxus?
No harm word. And Daxos looks up and says, yeah, alright. Maybe I can organize playdates of some kind. I know some people.
I'm just wondering, do ants eat? Do we need to... Oh my god, what about the dog? Can you feed the dog? I mean, he must have fed the cat, and we should have thought this through.
Who are you saying this to?
I'm just saying this out loud.
Daxos rolls his eyes.
Wait, what did you say?
I'll keep an eye on that too.
You're the best, Daxon.
Don't you forget it.
She'll give him a hug.
He hugs you back.
Ganassi will give 2 gold pieces.
To Daxos?
I thought you were going to give
Yeah, to
Daxos a hug.
No. That'd be ridiculous. Yeah, I'll offer 2 gold pieces. He'll say to offset some of the costs.
I appreciate it. He gives you a respectful nod.
I return it.
And we're the 3 best friends that anyone could have.
I mean, I've got 10 days of rations, so maybe we could, split them here and have like a little picnic.
Yeah, sure.
So 1, 2, 4, 5, 7 dog tree. Yeah, okay. I have enough. And she'll take the rations out of her pack and pass them around to everybody.
Okay. And you definitely do.
Do you have enough, or
I have 2 left, so I'm fine.
you sure?
Yep.
You want me to?
No, I'm good.
The dog happily sort of... It's quite chewy, the dog's a bit like... But it sort of munches away happily on it. Daxos shrugs and helps himself to like... He just sort of takes a little bit of one, doesn't take too much, leaves it out for anyone else who wants it, and just nibbles on a few bits to be polite. You get the sense he's not super hungry, but just like in general, he's not trying to be awkward. He's just not really feeling the need of food at the moment, but he sits down and has a pleasant enough... And sort of he's social and says, and God, now I'm being awkward about it. No, he's he mingles, tells jokes, laughs with you guys, and you have a lovely little picnic.
I do at some point ask Thistle Spine to tell us a joke. See if it knows one.
Then be a rock paper scissors joke.
If the answer's not friend, we boycott.
Okay, you put me on the spot, so this I want you to know that whatever happens is your fault. venison's deer, isn't it?
Eslyn's gonna laugh to be polite, but she doesn't have a fucking clue what a deer is.
Just laugh and look around at everyone, just like, anyone get that?
I don't have to. It told a joke. I
So
find
the
that
penguin.
amazing.
They're an iceberg. A baby penguin. What's an iceberg? What's a penguin?
It's okay. Fine. What is long, brown, and sticky?
No.
Eslyn's gonna look at Daxus.
Daxos looks at you like, what do you want now?
She's just gonna laugh to herself.
Oh dear.
And then she's gonna look at Calliope.
Clip that moment.
We don't know if this was fine. What is long, brown, and yeah?
A stick. His laugh sounds like bark grating against itself.
Ganassi approves of this joke. This is a worthwhile endeavour.
I love how we were supposed to probably like fight a tree, but ended up making friends with it, buying it a duck.
This is the shit I live for, to be honest, as a DM. This is 100% the shit I live for. Alright, we're getting close to wrapping up, so I'll say we'll try to go till about 11. Is there anything else anyone wishes to accomplish before we... As you guys
acquire my collapsible stick.
Oh yeah, easy enough. Daxos takes you over the course of after you guys' picnic is done. Daxos takes it back and says, "All right, it's easy enough to flick out. That's like one movement, but it's got to be a whole thing to put it back in again. Just be aware of that. So that's not something you can do quickly." Out of character, it's a quarterstaff that is completely collapsible. It telescopes with the free action object manipulation that you get, but it is a whole action to put it back into.
So I can draw to strike, but I can't sheath and
Yeah.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah, that's exactly what I was after. So cool. Ganassi seems very content with it.
Eslyn will just make her way to the temple district and pop in and see how the people at the fastest temple are doing.
They're doing well. There's, again, much more populated with Tritons. You see, in fact, you've caught them at evening prayers. So they leave their offerings of things they may have collected throughout their day. You know this just from hearsay, Eslyn, but there's a high population of Tritons in Meletis, and they more commonly take odd jobs that they're jobs in general. Jobs in general that they're more suited for, like constructing pylons under the water because they don't need to, because they can breathe, or aiding in shipwrighting, or clearing out things from sewers, or just establishing that. So they will often collect things from the bottom of the sea throughout the day and leave them as offerings to the temple.
And there's no one there that I recognise or anything. Just
make a perception check.
Don't want to.
Do all Tritons know each other?
I'm biting my tongue so hard right now.
That's only a 12.
No one you recognize. Very well. The evening is yours. What do you guys wish to do?
Now we go get drunk.
Let's arm wrestle someone.
Ganassi's got his spear now, right? Oh, sorry, quarterstaff.
Yes,
Yes.
he does.
It's now sort of
Can I do
attached to
some-
my backpack.
I'd like to do some sparring with Ganassi and see how good he is with it.
You hear from
Ooh.
somewhere on the
Oh,
other
boy.
side of a city someone yell, "Oh, sure! When he does it, he's mother frickin' Teresa!" That doesn't
Go to
happen.
bed.
I just hold a cure wounded
Don't.
already.
I would be honoured. Sort of like we move to somewhere that's a bit clearer in space. I will cast Gust to give me some gravitas of looking impressive.
He's just going to stop him right there and be like, no. I don't need any of this. I just want to see how well you can handle the staff. Like, it's very straight-laced, like, I don't need any show. I'm just trying to train you for melee combat.
Right. And almost like, almost dejectedly, as if like, the power has been lost with the show. He'll sort of like have it reset plus, and then he'll sort of spin it around, and the staff extends, and he will take a defensive stance. And when you're ready, he will attempt to try and leg sweep a horse.
Nice. That's all good. This is going to be very much more like father teaching his son how to play baseball than like a fighting thing.
Yeah.
Make an
I like
attack roll, Ganassi.
Natural one. Natural one.
I don't know why everyone's just wishing him to. Yeah, I'm wishing him to fail now. What stuff? 19
Total?
Ooh.
is.
Does that hit?
Yeah.
Yeah, 19 hits.
Are you rolling to do damage, Ganassi? Are you swinging to do damage?
No, I think I was going for a leg sweep, but sort of like catch his front. Well, actually, are you on fours, or like how are you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd be on all fours.
Yeah, to try and catch you off balance. So if anything, trying to knock prone, or the equivalent of.
Sweet.
Okay, make contested athletics checks, you two.
Oof, okay.
Ooh, that's a 10 total.
13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 total.
Okay.
Oh, just.
You're surprised by Ganassi's swiftness as he goes into place and lands the strike before you have time to move away. But Ganassi, you're like, I gotcha!
It's almost like there's a moment where I kind of like expecting that, and I almost like go over my staff a little bit as I try and kind of like pull the weight into it.
Yeah.
Really thought
I'm impressed.
For the purposes of brevity, I will say that
I didn't. Yeah.
You guys spend the evening. Unless, how much time do you spend?
Ganassi's actually quite enjoys the challenge. So he'll go until he's tired, or fucks up and knocks himself unconscious, which is a very likely thing to happen.
And I think Jason on the back end of that is kind of like, he's not really attacking, he's more kind of dodging and parrying. It's more just to get Ganassi more comfortable with melee attacks and all that kind of stuff. Kind of build him up.
You guys spar for a good couple hours, more if you want. What are the girls doing?
Just making sure Ganassi doesn't give himself a concussion or something.
Yeah, I'll be doing the same, but I'll have gone and fetched drinks beforehand.
I love this. It's like it's babysitting the air Ganassi.
I'm just sort of sitting on the floor enjoying the entertainment.
Love it.
All right, easy enough. You guys are treated to a show. You managed to find a liquor store that will give you guys some wine. Easy enough. Mark off, I'll say, 6 silver pieces for 2 bottles of decent wine. Or 2 jugs
I'll
of decent
cover
wine.
that.
You sure?
Yeah. 6 silver, yeah?
Yeah.
I'll double it. We'll have 12. We'll get pissed.
All right.
Alrighty. Does like a small crowd or something gather? Just sat there.
You two make performance checks.
Fight. Oh boy. Can I take out my lyre?
Sure.
Little lyre? And just strum a little. Just.
I'm picturing
Suspend
Miguel
music.
from Road to El Dorado.
Yes, exactly.
19 plus 2 for a 21 total. I can't help but be showy.
Okay. You do attract a few people stop and watch. One older gentleman with a ginger beard looks at you, Ganassi, and says, "My daughters fight harder than you," and just keeps going. But a couple others like, "Woo, swing!" And I assume you guys are doing this in the street.
Yeah, I think we were. We didn't actually choose anything anyway special.
Anyone that stays
So
like longer than 5
not where we're going to
minutes,
catch people by mistake, but
Yeah.
yeah, if there's like an open space.
Yeah, easy enough in the plaza area where the temples are. Very well. You guys spa, get pissed. In fact, everybody who drinks roll a Constitution saving throw. Everybody who gets pissed.
Constitution.
I have done well with rolls today.
Ooh.
18 plus 3, so 21.
Yeah?
18 plus 5.
Amalia, are you getting pissed?
16 plus 3, 19.
Whoa, damn, you guys are all good. Oh no, Calliope, what?
Well, that's a 9 plus 2, so 11.
Okay. So, in your mind, what would sloshed Calliope get herself? What trouble would sloshed Calliope get herself into?
Jesus Christ, what did I miss?
Raxos.
I am asking the player.
No, I will probably. We gathered quite a few people. Stop laughing. Gathered quite a few people, and some of them were like, "Oh, I can do better than that." I would probably go up to them and like, "Prove it, buddy. Come on, let's go."
Okay. Takes out a giant hammer. No, I'm kidding.
And this is how I die.
I like to imagine that Amalia's just stood exactly behind her, like, oh, what is it? What's that film?
I'm not
Basically,
sure.
like, and she's just like stood there, like growling behind her, when all these lads are like, come on then, and she's like,
Just FYI, it was like 1 or 2 passing comments, and those people are long gone.
I yell after them. I'm persistent.
The ginger man who's sort of like older, like in his 50s, but quite muscly from working. He's got like the paunch from drinking, but like muscled arms from working sailing ropes and factory work and things like that. Turns around surprised at you. Big, missing like 10% of his teeth, and they're all yellow. Like, you okay?
Come on then, I can take you. Let's go. He says, towering. The size.
He raises a giant meaty hand and just pats you on the head. Then he turns you around and just nudges you back with his finger and says, "Go back to your friend, sweetie."
I'm gonna take emotional damage for that. No.
Eventually, it gets quite late, and you guys feel the need to. How many nights did you pay for the inn originally?
2.
All right, so you will be expected to top up if you wish to remain at the flowing chalice. Or flowing goblet, whatever the hell I called it.
I will offer the goal for one more night, as I don't know whether or not our journeys will continue in the town or not.
Fair play, fair play. The gold is accepted.
2 rooms, so 5 a night, so 10 silver?
Yes.
Or have I... Yeah.
Oh, 3 rooms, there's 5 of you.
We were sharing, weren't we?
Yeah,
Oh,
it's 2 sharing and one gets... One
Clive-
does the music, the entertainment.
Did you do the music entertainment this evening?
She did in the street.
On the street in the temple district, which is nowhere near the flowing goblet.
No, let's say before we got pissed, because it was getting quite late when we actually got pissed.
Was it?
Yeah,
I'll allow it.
thank you.
Cool. So yes, 2 gold. Mark off 2 gold for the evening. Calliope, you managed to get one show out of you in time to get costs covered for your room. And you guys all go to bed thoroughly satisfied at having done a good deed. And that's where we'll conclude tonight's session.
Yay!
Yay.